Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I am the villain and steal the protagonist. I am lucky enough to become the protagonist. Chapter 41. Yu Yan, kill her. Zhao Hengyan looked calmly at Ji Yuzan and Yuzushi on the ground. Zhao Hengyan, you can't kill me. I am the vice principal of the Imperial Martial Arts Academy. The Imperial family is behind the Imperial Martial Arts Academy. Do you want to fight against the royal family? Yuzushi was roaring crazily at this moment. But Zhao Hengyan paid no attention to it and waved his hand to signal. After Yi Yuyan received the order, a dagger appeared in her hand and she was ready to stab it. Enough. At this moment, an imperial power filled the scene. Zhao Hengyan and Yi Yuyan were unable to move. Let this end here. I saw Yang Zan speaking slowly on the stage. That's it. That's ridiculous. Yi Chen killed me and Ji Yuzan didn't stop me. Ji Yuzan wanted to kill me, Principal Yu, but he didn't stop him. Principal Yu will kill me, Prince Yang. Oh no, Principal Yang won't stop me. What? Everyone wants me to die, right? No one says anything if they think they can win against me. If they can't win, they start to sway people. Zhao Hengyan looked as usual and said every word carefully. Do you think my Zhao family is easy to bully? Principal Yang. As soon as these words came out, the whole country of China fell into an uproar. That seems to be the intention. It feels like it has been targeting the Zhao family. Young Master Zhao seems to have done nothing wrong. This Imperial Martial Arts Academy is a bit too much. It seems that the royal family is going to take action against the Zhao family. No way, comma. Hearing this, Yang Zan's expression suddenly changed. You fart. Do you know what you're talking about? Boy from the Zhao family, I give you one last chance to admit your mistake. Admit your mistake to the whole country of China and restore the reputation of our Imperial Capital Martial Arts Academy, otherwise you will be in trouble. Zhao Hengyan immediately shouted to the audience. You are a coward, kill me if you dare. Don't dare to call me for a long time. Waste. Everyone present was stunned. Is Zhao Hengyan so brave? Damn it, is this Mr. Zhao a role model for us? Has young Master Zhao always been so brave? Yang Zan's face was the color of pig liver, and he was about to burst out with all his strength. Sharp-tongued guy, do you really think I don't dare to take action? If I don't give you a look, do you think you can make a difference? As a powerful emperor, he also has royal status. Yang Zan was beaten to death, but he never expected that one day he would be insulted by a junior on the spot. Thinking about it, he raised a hand to grab Zhao Hengyan. It's over, Zhao Xiaowei. Young Master Zhao, you have lost your courage. Zhao Xiaoniapi, not far away at Imperial University. Yun Jingyan's mood went up and down watching the changes in the situation on the field. When Ji Yuzan came on the court, he was worried for Zhao Hengyan. Unexpectedly, Zhao Hengyan could easily solve it. Then when Yuzushi appeared, her heart suddenly twitched. But Yi Yuyan's appearance relieved her a lot. But what she didn't expect was that Yang Zan actually took action. This is a powerful emperor. Yun Jingyan didn't know why, but her whole heart was in her throat and her mind went blank. The two hands clasped together and secretly prayed for Zhao Hengyan. I didn't expect prayer to actually work. There was another turning point on the field. The moment Yang Zan was about to take action, a powerful imperial power erupted on the field. If you dare to take action against my young master, you will die early. A woman wearing a red robe and with white hair appeared in front of people. Do you really think my young master is easy to bully? The woman's spiritual energy burst out and she instantly competed with Yang Zan. The situation has entered a state of close competition. Zhao Hengyan looked at the woman's red pupils, white thighs, cold temperament and beautiful face. Seeing this, Zhao Hengyan instantly understood who this was. This woman's name is Shui Yu. She is the strongest killer under Su Qingyu, and she has the cultivation level of a great emperor. Blood Moon is a hybrid of vampires and humans, and has some vampire characteristics. Therefore, she has blood red eyes and white hair. In the original work, Blood Moon went to a secret realm soon after, and later lost contact with Su Qingyu and his whereabouts are unknown. Seeing this, Zhao Hengyan secretly said in his heart, another great beauty. Zhao Hengyan had some doubts. Su Qingyu was known as the underground queen of China, and whether the people under her were all beauties. It seemed that the ones she sent to herself were all cold and charming female killers. This isn't right. But this seems to be pretty good, it can be played and watched. When Yang Zan saw the sudden emperor-level strongman in front of him, most of his anger was lost in an instant. Who are you? It seems that there is no one like you in the Zhao family. Looking at you like this, you don't look like a human being. Shui Yu didn't even look at him after hearing this, but instead became concerned about Zhao Hengyan. Young master, I come down here to ask for your forgiveness, young master. It doesn't matter. Zhao Hengyan shook his head helplessly. How dare he blame him? After all, he is still a powerful emperor. And it's my mother's strongest trump card. This is not a good way to bring people closer together. When Yang Zan realized that he was being ignored, his anger that was about to extinguish suddenly rekindled. How dare you ignore me? Arrogant. With that said, Yang Zan took out a long sword and stabbed Shui Yu. This scene directly shocked the whole country of China. Seriously, it's a real fight, all the weapons are out. It's over, the aftermath can kill us all. No, it's none of our business if you fight. I want to go home. Okay, fight well. It's not a waste of time to witness the battle between great emperors in this life. No, please move to another place to fight so that it doesn't affect us. The powerful imperial power plunged the entire imperial capital into panic. Shui Yu didn't panic at all when he saw the sudden stabbing sword, and immediately took out a red lotus. This time, the whole audience was silent and turned their attention to the lotus. This aura is an imperial weapon. All go, it's worth dying to see the imperial soldiers today. Is this the legendary Karma Fire Blood Lotus? It's not a legend, it's just. In comparison, Yang Zan looks a little shabby. If it weren't for the quasi-emperor's artifact, I might not know what a divine weapon is. Of course, this quasi-emperor level sword is not bad, but the emperor's weapon makes me understand what a divine weapon is. At this moment, even Yang Zan, who was halfway through his sprint, stopped and turned his attention to the lotus. After feeling the aura it radiated, Yang Zan's face instantly turned green. This is actually an imperial weapon, an emperor-level magic weapon. Emperor-level magic weapons are so rare, there are only a dozen or 20 of them in China and even the whole world. For most emperors, being able to use quasi-emperor or half-step emperor-level magic weapons is already very precious. He didn't expect that he would be lucky enough to witness this so-called imperial soldier today. After seeing this emperor-level magic weapon, the quasi-emperor-level sword in Yang Zan's hand couldn't help but tremble and make sword sounds. My lord, this is a private matter of our college. Please don't interfere. Yang Zan asked tentatively, but Shui Yu didn't even look at him. Are you deaf? This is my young master. Do you want me to intervene? As soon as these words came out, the whole country of China, including Yang Zan, fell into silence. What a noble existence the great emperor is. No matter where you are a welcome guest. As long as it's not a heinous crime, outsiders will basically give him face. Besides, having a great emperor is the standard for joining a first-class family. But what did that woman say just now? Call him young master Zhao Hengyan. Damn it, are the Zhao family so fierce? The emperor is a slave. This is the great emperor after all. How can I call him young master Zhao Hengyan? It seems that the Zhao family has more than one emperor. Nonsense, which of those top-notch families doesn't have several emperors? The question is which emperor has such a humble status. Now the school has been hit hard. Han Ruishuang and Feng Lingling, who were sitting in their seats, were so shocked that their whole bodies were numb and soaked with sweat. The two of them suddenly felt that Zhao Hengyan was quite kind. With such a terrifying family background, they were not killed on the spot. But to give people a way to live. The people are quite nice. Yang Zan doesn't know what to do now, he may not be able to beat him. If you don't fight, what will be lost is the face of the Imperial Martial Arts Academy and the royal family. Grandma, why am I carrying it like this? Yang Zan was so anxious that he almost cried. Any bad luck would happen to him. Hoo. Suddenly, a whistling sound of wind appeared in the air. Immediately afterwards, a middle-aged man wearing a battle armor appeared in the sky. Your Majesty has ordered that this matter ends here. Seeing the handle of the spear in the man's hand, someone below let out an exclamation. It's Emperor Gale, the commander of the imperial army, Huang Kanglong. This sound caused the people below to wail. What? Huang Kanglong, the commander of the Forbidden Army, has come out. This is the old emperor. He is said to be the strongest existence besides the 10 emperors. And the Jade Dragon Song in his hand is also an emperor-level weapon. I've seen some of these. No, can you please let us go home first? We will be the ones affected by the fight later. 3 great emperors, please let us go back first, okay. The 3 great emperors on the stage ignored the wailing sounds below at this moment. Boy from the Zhao family, until this matter ends, don't let outsiders see our jokes. Yang Zan was a little proud at the moment, but after this experience, I'm afraid that the Zhao family will have some trump cards later. So he made the biggest concession. Try to make peace with Zhao Hengyan. To outsiders, it seemed that Yang Zan had retreated. But Zhao Hengyan understood that it was actually the Zhao family who retreated. After all, I was bullied like this and didn't even get compensation. It was settled with just one sentence. What if I don't? Zhao Hengyan looked at Yang Zan playfully. Don't be so shameless. What good will it do to you if the stalemate continues? Yang Zan said with a flushed face and roared. Oh, you don't believe me when I say you're a waste. I just want to continue. What can you do to me? Kill me. Do you dare? Coward. Zhao Hengyan once again made a wave of insults in front of the whole country of China. This kid Yang Zan couldn't bear it anymore. You really think I don't dare to kill you? After saying that, Zhao Hengyan took out the order of the young master of the Zhao family. All Zhao Jiazhen listens to the order. Immediately enter the imperial capital to defend the Zhao family. If this young master dies, then I will take revenge on whoever takes action. After saying that, a golden light flashed and transformed into a golden dragon, which shot out from the token and shot through the sky. This scene immediately confused everyone. Damn it, we're not going to start a fight. No, Yang Zan, what the hell do you want to save face? Damn it, you can do such a big thing if an apology can solve it. This boy from the Zhao family is a lunatic. Grandma, I have never seen such a crazy air. It's a civil war, right? I can finally witness history. The fortune teller said that I will suffer a bloody disaster today, and it seems to be true. Upon seeing this, Huang Kanglong lost his composure and immediately shouted. Zhao Hengyan, you mean to start a civil war? Do you, the Zhao family, want to be traitors to China? Don't rant, I just want justice. I, a member of our family, can be bullied like this, so what if I am an ordinary student? Zhao Hengyan looked at Huang Kanglong with a half smile. Now he can't control him anymore. It seems that what Zhao Hengyan said makes sense. But the problem is, the situation is a bit out of control. Zhao Hengyan, withdraw the Zhao army quickly or I will convict you of treason. Oh, Zhao Hengyan glanced at it and replied with just one word. This made Huang Kanglong lose his face. He suddenly understood Yang Zan's mood. But as Zhao Hengyan said, Yang Zan is a coward. After seeing the current situation, I immediately didn't know what to do. The changes in his face are extremely wonderful. Xiao Yanzi, well done. Suddenly, another voice came from the sky. It's not like another great emperor is coming. Possible. There are already 3 today, there won't be a 4th one. 4, I think 5. History books haven't written about this scene, right? I feel like it's worth dying like this. Today's scene gave everyone a feeling of riding a roller coaster. It's so amazing. As everyone expected, this is another great emperor coming. A man wearing a suit and holding an iron fan slowly fell into view. The man is quite handsome and looks very mature. Zhao Hengyan couldn't tell who this was for a moment. You want to bully my nephew because you take advantage of the crowd. Uncle, don't be afraid. With uncle here, no one can take advantage. Upon hearing this, Zhao Hengyan called uncle. Otherwise he wouldn't know who this person is. As for the name, Su Qingyu's mother's family was not mentioned in the original work, and even the so-called uncle never appeared. Therefore, Zhao Hengyan really didn't know who he was. Since everyone calls him nephew, why not call him uncle to get closer to him? However, Zhao Hengyan was deeply moved by this uncle. I didn't expect that people would go out of their way to stand up for me. Although Su Qingyu took a large part of the credit, it was one thing for others to appreciate it. Another great emperor arrived, which caused Huang Kanglong and Yang Zan's expressions to change drastically. This guy is a bit tough backstage. Yang Zan's heart was filled with regret at this moment. If he had known that Yi Chen was about to attack and kill him, he would have taken action. Or you have to stand up for yourself at that time. Well now, the situation is out of control. I am in a dilemma. No matter what happens afterwards, you have to bear the blame. Just when the situation was reaching a stalemate again, another deep and powerful voice came. The Zhao family, don't be too arrogant. Immediately afterwards, a golden shadow flew out from the direction of the palace. I saw a middle-aged man holding a big sword and wearing a golden robe standing on the field. I didn't expect that the Golden Sword Emperor would actually come out. An elder of the Dongfang family shouted when he saw this. What level is this Golden Sword Emperor? Dongfang Luoqing looked at Zhao Hengyan with her beautiful eyes and asked anxiously. The Golden Sword Emperor is your Majesty's second uncle, and he is also named the Golden Sword King. He is famous all over the world for his use of a big golden sword. Had he not suffered a serious injury back then, his talent would have been enough to be called the best among saints. As he spoke, the elder looked at the scene in front of him again and shook his head helplessly. This kid from the Zhao family is too crazy. Otherwise, with his talent, he might become a saint in another 100 years. What a pity. After receiving such a positive reply from his elder, Dongfang Luoqing's heart suddenly trembled and he was greatly shocked. Saint. This existence is more terrifying than the great emperor. There are only a few saints in the world, and each one of them is registered. There are not many saints to be found in the entire Blue Star. I didn't expect that Zhao Hengyan had such a high talent and could receive such loyal recognition from his elders. It's ridiculous that I was called the number one person of my generation back then. Unexpectedly, compared with Zhao Hengyan, he was not worthy enough to carry his shoes. King of Golden Swordsmen, you are here. Huang Kanglong was greatly shocked. He didn't expect that even the famous Golden Sword King would be attracted by this incident. At this moment, not all of China is paying attention but all of Blue Star is paying attention to this matter. The 5 emperors are present together. You can count on one hand the number of times the 5 emperors have been together since the revival of spiritual energy. And usually when 3 emperors are above or in the same place, it's either a life and death battle or something big happens. But now a small hospital examination actually attracted the 5 emperors to attend. If I don't come here, my Yang family will lose their face. Do you know that this matter has reached the level of Blue Star? Do you know what outsiders say? The students of our Wagwo Martial Arts Academy do not respect their teachers, and the teachers use their power to bully others. Now not only the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Academy, but also the entire Wa Kingdom Martial Arts Academy has a bad reputation. Golden Sword King Yang Wei looked coldly at the protagonists present. Zhao Hengyan, let's end this matter. You apologize first, and we will compensate you privately after it's over. Yang Wei said calmly, but there was anger in his eyes. He felt that Zhao Hengyan was still a student and a child no matter what. I have never seen such a big world, and I should be able to give in with a little coercion and inducement. The most important thing now is to save the reputation of the royal family and the Wagwo Martial Arts Academy. But he was wrong. Zhao Hengyan has been a thief for 2 generations. In my previous life, I was a poor student who often worked during summer vacations and had experienced the ups and downs of society. Now that he has such a large background to support him, coupled with rich social experience, he is naturally confident. I don't. Zhao Hengyan simply replied with 2 words and turned his head to the side. He knew they wouldn't do anything to him. After all, things are getting bigger and bigger now, and all Blue Star is paying attention. If you really want to deal with him on the spot, then you will have to face the anger of the entire Zhao family. According to the records in the original book, his father had an army of millions and was the most elite force in China. Moreover, the Zhao Jiazhen in his hands is the best among the best. Each of them is above the level of war commander, and they are absolutely loyal to the Zhao family. In addition, there are the huge underground forces under his mother, as well as the forces of the Su family. There are so many people supporting you, why are you so cowardly? Dry. Just one word and it's done. Yang Wei's face turned green with anger at this answer. I didn't expect Zhao Hengyan to be so disrespectful to him. Boy, do you know who I am? Don't think that I really dare not touch you. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Wei burst out with his own emperor aura. Unexpectedly, just after he burst out, there was another voice in the sky. I don't care who you are. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of all the old guys on the field and several people on the stage changed drastically. Damn it, there are experts. The show today was really exciting. If I guess correctly, this may be the 6th emperor. 6 emperors present together. Witness history. Dongfang Luoqing saw the change in his elder's face and couldn't help but ask, 5th elder, what's wrong? He came, the 5th elder said tremblingly. Him, who is he? Dongfang Luoqing's beautiful eyes were filled with confusion. Zhao Hengyan's father is now the head of the 10 most powerful emperors, Zhao Zan. As soon as he finished speaking, a dark green light fell from the sky. Do you really think I can bully the younger ones when I'm not around? After saying that, a figure appeared. I saw a young man wearing a military uniform and a cape who looked very similar to Zhao Hengyan standing in front of everyone. The man is young and handsome, but his eyes are not that of a young man. But after years of baptism, it is full of coercion and murderous intent. Zhao Zan, why are you here? Zhao Zan looked at the panicked people in front of him, and then turned his attention to Zhao Hengyan. Well done, this is what the heir of my Zhao family should behave like. If you gave in just now, then I would really look down on you. Just remember, you can do anything boldly. If the sky falls, we will hold it up. Looking at the man in front of him, Zhao Hengyan understood that this was his former father, Zhao Zan. At this moment, he is also his father. Zhao Hengyan thought that Zhao Zan would criticize him. Unexpectedly, he was so praised. Especially the last sentence directly made Zhao Hengyan feel warm in his heart. This is just as he expected. If the sky falls, someone will support him and do it with confidence. He is now the young master of the top world, not the ordinary poor student before. So the momentum and concepts have to change. Mo Wen, thank you. Zhao Zan looked at Su Moen sincerely and expressed his heartfelt thanks. It doesn't matter, I'm just a nephew, who can I help him if I don't help him? Su Moen also shook his head and smiled. After hearing this, Zhao Hengyan knew that his uncle was called Su Moen. Miss Shuiyu, you can go pick some things from the Zhao family's secret vault before leaving. No need, it's my master's order to protect the young master. Shuiyu then smiled slightly at Zhao Zan. Hey, the Zhao family still has a secret vault. Zhao Hengyan said the words with a confused look on his face, and then looked at Zhao Zan. Unexpectedly, after hearing this, Zhao Zan and Su Moen looked at Zhao Hengyan as if he were a fool. Let's talk about it when we get back. After Zhao Zan finished speaking, he glared at Yang Wei and the others. It's time to settle the account. Zhao Zan, what do you want to do? Yang Wei felt that something bad was going to happen for some reason. Outsiders say that if you, Yang Wei, were not injured, you would be the best among saints. Don't forget, who is the first person among the saints now? You're just a sick tiger. Hearing Zhao Zan's threatening tone, Yang Wei couldn't help but feel panicked. Zhao Zan, what do you want? When Zhao Zan heard this, he waved to Su Moen and others, signaling them to retreat. How? Come and pay off the debt. Heng Yan, I heard your mother say that you need a knife technique. My father will take you to get some emperor-level skills later. After hearing this, Yang Wei, Yang Zan and others shouted in their hearts, no. Because their royal Yang family is famous all over the world for their swords. Looking at Zhao Zan's attitude, he wanted them to trade the Yang family's skills for them. Zhao Zan, you are delusional. How come my royal secrets are taught to outsiders? The two of them shouted wildly in an attempt to make Zhao Zan understand the meaning of this technique. As they said, this is a secret technique that can only be practiced by members of the royal family. How could it be given to outsiders? After hearing this, Zhao Zan gathered his spiritual power and walked towards the three of them without saying anything. What are you going to do? Zhao Zan, you really want to start a civil war? Zhao Zan, calm down. After hearing this, Zhao Zan sneered. Back then, I had my hands in my pockets and didn't know what an opponent was. I haven't taken action for so long, and the world has forgotten that there is someone like this in my Zhao family. You can even bully my son. After saying that, Zhao Zan slapped it with one palm. You really hit me. Huang Kanglong couldn't help but exclaimed loudly. It was obvious that he was assigned the task of standing up. In other words, today's situation is a street gang fighting. There is no way to stir up trouble at all. It just depends on who has more people shouting and who has more people shouting. Unexpectedly, both father and son are crazy. One Xuanjin entered the city, and the other started fighting directly. Huang Kanglong said, I am just here to stand up, how could this happen? The one who feels the most miserable at this moment is Yang Zan. It can be said that this happened all because of him. If you win, you will bear His Majesty's wrath. If you lose, you will bear the Zhao family's wrath. Only then did Yu Zushi and Ji Yuzan realize how big the commotion was. But it doesn't matter to them anymore. After all, whoever wins or loses will die. The audience on the sidelines kept screaming. Damn, it's really a fight. Hey, did you hear that Emperor Zhao Zan actually wanted to use royal skills to apologize? Holy crap, this Zhao family is really rich and powerful, and they want emperor-level skills. What the hell, are you idiots fighting? We might all die here. Witnessing history is worth dying for. Quote. Yang Wei saw the slap and immediately picked up his golden sword to resist. Old man, if I give you some face, I really feel like I can be strong again. Seeing Yang Wei who dared to fight back, Zhao Zan directly stepped up his strength. Bang! With a loud noise, Yang Wei was pushed back dozens of meters by the powerful force. At this moment, Yang Wei's eyes showed unwillingness and fear. He didn't expect Zhao Zan to be so strong now. But he regretted that he was seriously injured that year, which damaged his foundation and caused his level of decline to drop significantly. Master Zhao, we have something to discuss. Huang Kanglong saw Yang Wei being repelled by a palm and immediately smiled. Give you a chance to attack me. Otherwise, you really have no chance. Hearing this, the three of them would have said they were arrogant before. After all, they are also emperors. Now that Yang Wei was beaten like this in just one encounter, how dare he say anything now? Not taking action. Then go to hell. The next second, a circle of golden holy light appeared on Zhao Zan's body. Arhat conquers the devil's palm. A solemn voice sounded from the sky. A huge gust of wind blew up throughout the imperial capital. This is the great emperor. Zhao Hengyan couldn't help but admired the terrifying sight on the sidelines. No wonder I kept hearing people on the sidelines saying that the emperor's fights affected civilians. Yang Zan, it's all your fault that we all have to die here now. Huang Kanglong couldn't help but cursed loudly. Yang Zan was so frightened that he dared not speak back. This is really all his fault. Yang Wei narrowed his eyes and said calmly, I don't talk about martial ethics. It's a big move as soon as it's launched. Stop. Suddenly, two more figures floated in the air. As soon as they appeared on the stage, they exuded the aura of their great emperors. But who would have expected that Zhao Zan would not give them a chance to speak at all? Directly blasted out with one palm. The next second, a golden palm fell from the sky and struck them. Emperor Flying Eagle, Emperor Jianyu didn't expect you to come too. Yang Wei couldn't help but exclaimed when he saw the two people who came to support him. He thought the situation could be relieved. Unexpectedly, Zhao Zan directly attacked them upon seeing this. You really think you are so arrogant when you think you are the #1 emperor? The Flying Eagle Emperor cursed angrily on the spot, and then waved a palm to fight against him. We have 5 great emperors now, and they really treat us like weaklings. When Yang Wei saw this, he immediately sneered and then waved a saber energy. Uncle, don't you two go to support me? Seeing Zhao Zan fighting against 5, Zhao Hengyan suddenly asked worriedly. Su Moen laughed when he heard this and said, It's not without reason that your father is called the first person among saints. I will open your eyes today. After saying that, Su Moen took out a handful of melon seeds and handed them to Shui Yu and Zhao Hengyan. Eat. Zhao Hengyan, since his uncle, the great emperor, can have such recognition, it means that his father is really powerful. When the attacks of the 6 great emperors collided, a gust of wind arose throughout the imperial capital. The aura in the air is very restless. If it weren't for the protection of Su Moen and others, everyone on the sidelines would really be wiped out by the aftermath. Hey, this great emperor is nothing more than that. Yes, I seem to be still alive. Go on and watch the show. What the hell, are you stupid? If we hadn't been covered by someone, we would have died a long time ago. Quote. The situation of the spectators on the sidelines was fine, but the situation of Yang Zan and others on the battlefield was very dangerous. Zhao Zan is actually so strong. Why do I feel a bit holy? Half-saint. What a slap in the face. What Zhao Zan didn't expect was that the 5 of them could really compete with him. A couple of times. Immediately afterwards, a golden body appeared on Zhao Zan. Bodhi's true form. Yang Zan, you fooled us. The Zhao family is no longer human and even has Bodhi's true body. This. Before Yang Zan finished speaking, another big palm fell. 5 people were shot down directly, forming 5 large craters on the ground. The next second, the spear in Huang Kanglong's hand turned into a ray of light and disappeared into Zhao Zan's hand. This is the right to charge interest. Immediately afterwards, the rings on the hands of Emperor Feiying and Emperor Jianyu were directly pocketed by Zhao Zan. As for Yang Zan, Yang Wei and Zhao Zan, they did not do much. After all, the royal family has to be given a name. Yang Zan was the most seriously injured, his meridians were almost broken and he was no better than a disabled person. Yang Wei was injured originally, but this time he was even more injured. Even after the injury heals, his cultivation level will decline significantly. Zhao Hengyan was shocked when he saw his father's series of actions. Are you sure this is the commander-in-chief of China's first war zone, the leader of the 10 most powerful emperors, and the first person among the saints? Isn't this a proper bandit? Just let the 5 great emperors be beaten to the ground. An emperor-level weapon was taken away, and the space rings of the 2 great emperors were taken away. Tisk tisk tisk. But they didn't dare to say anything, and they didn't say anything. Tisk, 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 that's too cruel. Zhao Zan has become stronger again. How can the Zhao family do anything if they don't cut it? If the Zhao family continues like this, I think it's normal if someone puts a yellow cloak on him. A fight against 5 emperors. Quan Langsing was extremely shocked when he saw Zhao Zan's pentakill scene. The people who were originally jealous and hating the Zhao family kept their mouths shut at this time. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Zan dragged Yang Zan and Yang Wei away under the gaze of everyone. The direction is the direction of the palace. As for the other 3 great emperors, they were lying on the ground silently at this moment, not daring to breathe. Yu Yan, kill those 2. Zhao Hengyan looked at Yu Zushi and Ji Yuzan, who looked half dead now, and said coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 round things rolled to the ground. The prompt sounded the next second. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating Yi Chen. He was deeply hit and his heart was broken. He gained 1,000 luck points and 5,000 villain points. The host kills Yu Zushi and Ji Yuzan, intercepts the protagonist's luck of 2,000, and gains villain value of 10,000. The host's luck has now been upgraded to white luck. Because the host's competition has greatly changed the development of the story, he obtained the ancient artifact Dongwang Bell. The host defeated the great emperor Yang Zan and Yang Wei to obtain the origin of the holy beast. Okay. Hear the continuous beeps from the system. Zhao Hengyan estimated that the impact of what he had done this time on the original work was like the great sage's destruction of the Book of Life and Death. It directly blocked the road that belonged to Yi Chen in the early stage and even the later stage. Open the system. The next second a light screen flashed in my mind. Name, Zhao Hengyan. Villain value, 15,000. Luck, 0. Realm, Warmaster, 1 star. Fighting spirit, Holy Beast White Tiger. Level, SSS. Mind, none. Combat skill, Meteoric Fist Quasi-Emperor level. Movement, Spiritual Dragon Phantom Step. Kung Fu, Shan Haiju Emperor level, Holy Demon Technique, Great Compassion Fu. Items, White Tiger Warblade, Emperor Grade, Dongwang Bell. Origin of the Holy Beast. System, why has my luck changed to 0? The system replied calmly. That's because the quality of your luck, host, has improved. To improve, you need to use the luck you obtained to exchange for upgrades. After hearing this reply, Zhao Hengyan understood why he could become the protagonist by taking away his luck. Just add the protagonist to him. Then, he looked at the 2 newly acquired things. Dongwang Bell. A big clock that tells the time, do you really believe it? The legendary ancient artifact is so powerful that it can destroy the world and devour the heavens. Look at the few short words. Zhao Hengyan couldn't help but take a breath of air. Sure enough, fewer words mean greater things. Just a few words give people a devastating feeling. Then, he looked at the origin of the holy beast. Origin of the holy beast. Possessing the origin power of the holy beast. After use, you will randomly gain the original power of a holy beast. Translation: a fighting spirit with a new holy beast rating. After seeing this, Zhao Hengyan lost his composure again. This means that I have 2 fighting souls. There are also 2 fighting spirits in history. But for someone with dual SSS levels like himself, I'm afraid he is the first, right? Look, Yi Chen's luck in intercepting this time was a bit high. Tisk tisk tisk. Yi Chen, you smell so good. Xiao Yanzi, why are you not walking here? Su Moen couldn't help but ask, looking at Zhao Hengyan who was still in a daze. Will he be frightened? Oh, uncle, it's rare for you to come here once, why don't you come and sit at my house? Zhao Hengyan said with a very sincere expression. Okay. Afterwards, the group left the martial arts academy and returned to the Zhao family. These giant Buddhas are finally gone. Holy shit, the emperor is so scary. I can't even breathe standing there. Elder, why doesn't our great emperor feel this kind of oppression? Because our family is too old to carry shoes for these people. Quote. Tito University. Yun Jingyan saw the emperors coming online one after another. My already restless heart almost flew out. Until Zhao Zan appeared and fought against the 5 emperors on his own. Yun Jingyan's hanging heart finally settled. For some reason, she felt particularly attracted to this mysterious and noble young master of the Zhao family. A very strange emotion came over me. Then, a feeling of inferiority set in. Seeing the terrifying power of the Zhao family, I felt even more inferior. When Zhao Hengyan returned to Zhao Mansion, he saw a beautiful figure standing at the door anxiously looking forward to it. Xiao Yan, uncle, you are back. Sister Mengli, why are you outside? I'm not worried about you. Su Mengli said angrily after hearing this. This Zhao Hengyan really doesn't understand good people. He doesn't care that he is so worried about him. I haven't seen her for a few years, and she's beautiful again. Su Moen looked at Su Mengli, who was getting more mature and beautiful, and couldn't help but praise her. Su Mengli blushed slightly after hearing this. Who is this? Su Mengli immediately changed the subject and asked Shui Yu on the side. This is Miss Shui Yu, my mother's right-hand man. If Miss Shui Yu hadn't helped me today, the consequences would have been disastrous. Zhao Hengyan slowly explained to Su Mengli. Although Su Mengli knew that Su Qingyu sent someone to assist, she didn't know who it was. It wasn't until they met that Su Mengli felt a surge in her heart. Unexpectedly, my mother actually sent a great emperor to help, and he was so young and beautiful. Young master, you deserve the reward. It is our duty to protect the young master. Shui Yu replied respectfully. By the way, Xiao Yanzi, do you have a crush on a girl from any family? Su Moen looked at Zhao Hengyan with interest and asked. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan had goosebumps all over his body. Why are you urging me again? This. Then let me put it another way, which family did you lick after you stopped licking the Han family? After hearing this, Zhao Hengyan immediately said loudly. What words? What words are these? Am I so bad in your impression? How could my dignified young master of the Zhao family be a licker? Su Mengli pursed her lips and smiled upon hearing this. Isn't it? You are nicknamed the #1 expression in the imperial city. Zhao Hengyan. Okay, this is how you played with your predecessor, right? Licking it will give you a reputation. Forehead. There's no rush in this matter. Aren't you in a hurry? Your mother is very worried about you. Su Moen said lightly. If it doesn't work, uncle will help you take a look. There are also many good girls in the Su family. If we really can't, let's look at them from other hidden families. Zhao Hengyan twitched the corners of his mouth helplessly. Yes, this is my main line now, right? After some pleasantries. Just heard a cry from the door. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Zan and Su Qingyu appeared at the gate at the same time. This is a rare occurrence in the Zhao family. After all, Zhao Zan, as the commander-in-chief of the first theater, must strictly guard the defense line of the theater. In addition to foreign beasts, the more important thing is to prevent the invasion of foreign beasts. So it's not easy to go back once a year. Dad, Mom, why are you all back? Su Mengli asked with some joy. It's not because of your brother, Zhao Zan said with a serious face. Zhao Hengyan felt bad after hearing this. It's over. He gave him some face in front of others, but now he is probably going to have to settle the score with his wife. The next second, a technique exuding an emperor-level aura flew in front of everyone. This is. Su Moen lost his composure immediately after seeing this. It has to be your Zhao family. He said he wanted the royal family to take emperor-level skills as compensation, and he actually took them. You really accept it? This book cost 2 lives of Yang Zan and Yang Wei. It's worth it. Listening to Zhao Zan's calm answer, Su Moen couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. You two can copy it down later to thank Yuner this time, Su Qingyu said to Shui Yu and Su Moen. Shui Yu has experienced all kinds of storms and waves and has remained calm. Even though there was a touch of excitement in my heart, it was quickly suppressed. It's different for Su Moen. After all, this technique can be taken back to the Su family for use. In this way, not only the level of the Su family has greatly increased, but his own status has also increased. Therefore, the excited look was engraved directly on his face. He was afraid that others would not know his feelings. Zhao Hengyan was not only shocked but also moved after hearing this. After all, this technique was chosen for him. Stop getting excited and let's talk about business, Zhao Zan said with a serious face. Thump. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Hengyan knelt down and said with a plop. Mom and Dad, I know I was impulsive in this matter. I will accept any punishment. After all, his impulsiveness almost put the Zhao family into a state of irreversible danger. Originally, he wanted to break Yi Chen's Taoist heart and kill Yu Zushi and Ji Yuzan. I didn't expect that the matter would become such a big deal, and that the entire Blue Star would pay attention. Emperor-level bosses came one after another to stand on the field and cheer. In the end, he introduced the Zhao family army into the imperial capital in full view of everyone. This is a precursor to a civil war. Just when Zhao Hengyan was about to be punished, Zhao Zan's words immediately made him uneasy. Who said I'm going to punish you? Really, what a big deal. Why is it that the Zhao family, as a wealthy family, has never seen any big storms? I told you that when you go out, you must look like the young master of the Zhao family. You must not lose your momentum. What does it look like to lick a little Han family all day long, and yet be called the most affectionate in the capital? Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan looked at his parents in surprise. Su Qingyu silently nodded her head in agreement. As long as you are called the most affectionate licker in the imperial capital, you can at best be called the best licking dog. Zhao Zan continued to add. Every time he mentioned this matter, his eyes were filled with contempt. If that's not a big deal, what's the big deal? Zhao Hengyan thought secretly in his heart, recalling the content that appeared in the original storyline. But he couldn't remember. Suddenly, a ray of light pulled everyone's thoughts over. Zhao Zan suddenly had more than a dozen secret orders in his hand. Then these secret orders were placed in front of Zhao Hengyan one after another. This is. Looking at this mysterious secret order, Zhao Hengyan felt a little curious. This is the marriage certificate with the Zhao family. To be precise, I am engaged to you. Go and propose marriage to whomever you like. Upon hearing this, Zhao Hengyan felt as if he had been struck by lightning. No, is this a big deal? It's only been a few days since I last urged you to get married, and now I'm urging you to get married again. Still in such a hurry? Zhao Hengyan thought to himself, I have just turned 18. I haven't had enough fun in my great years, how could it be so fast? Su Qingyu said, I came back this time to do this for you. If you don't decide, then we will choose for you. No, why am I so anxious? Zhao Hengyan curled his lips and said. Zhao Zan heard this and said seriously, you are the only heir to my Zhao family. What if there is an accident? I don't care about you if you have a bad relationship. What will our Zhao family do if something unexpected happens to you like you today? That's right, I just told you this last time, and you almost broke the boat. Su Qingyu quickly added from the side. Zhao Hengyan's scalp suddenly went numb. I have never been so nervous when facing the emperor. How about I take a look first? Zhao Hengyan tried to stall for time, but was unexpectedly rejected by Zhao Zan on the spot. No, I'll give you 3 days. I will leave the imperial capital in 3 days. If you haven't made any decision before leaving, we will make a choice for you. At this time, Zhao Hengyan almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. I had just traveled through time not long ago, and I still fantasized about living a life of intoxication and dreams. Things that were impossible back then can only be experienced in the game of rule of law and morality. Now I can experience the rule of law and morality firsthand. But the dream hasn't started yet. The yacht hasn't boarded yet, the luxury car hasn't been driven enough, and the plane hasn't taken off yet. It's over. Therefore, Zhao Hengyan had no choice but to stand under the gaze of everyone. Bite the bullet and open these secret orders. In addition to the marriage certificate, there is also information about the girl from the betrothed family. Zhao Hengyan did a simple scan and found that all of them were the legitimate daughters of top-notch families and even included a familiar face. Dongfang Luoking of the Dongfang family. In fact, Zhao Hengyan really wanted to introduce Yun Jingyan to his parents. But the question is whether the two of them will agree with such an ordinary woman. Even if her fighting spirit can be awakened, it is very rare and hard to believe. Secondly, if she confessed to them that this was the illegitimate daughter of the head of the Yun family, they would probably kill her and not believe her. Originally, Zhao Hengyan wanted to take it step by step and then introduce it to the second elder. Unexpectedly, his plan was immediately disrupted. After reading it briefly, Zhao Hengyan admired his parents even more. I didn't expect that the two of them had such good taste. The women he betrothed to were not only talented, but also as beautiful as flowers. The key is that there are all types. The cool lady, the girl next door, the cute loli. Hey, that's awesome. If you hadn't seen that nearly half of the names here appear in the original work. He even got involved with Yi Chen, a thief. Otherwise, Zhao Hengyan was really excited after seeing it and was ready to choose one. When I think of the various behaviors of the original protagonist towards him, and what these female protagonists did, Zhao Hengyan instantly lost all interest. In addition, since I have traveled through the book, who knows whether these people will maintain some of the original settings. I'm afraid that one day when you are flirting with her, I'll stab you with a backhand. Then I tell you, I'm sorry, you are a good person, and I like Yi Chen. Since he traveled through the book, he had to change the plot and change the ending of the Zhao family's demise. Then we must fundamentally prevent these potential risks from occurring. Each of these heroines has some connection with Yi Chen. But I don't necessarily have to take them all into the harem. It's a pity that he tortured Yi Chen like he did Han Ruoxuang and worsened the relationship. So, Zhao Hengyan said seriously, Mom and Dad, isn't this too hasty? Think about it, these people are the legitimate daughters of aristocratic families. Whoever marries into our Zhao family doesn't have ulterior motives. So, I think we should be cautious about this matter. After hearing what Zhao Hengyan said, Su Qingyu immediately felt that it made sense. It's not a good thing to be too hasty. She glanced at Su Mengli quietly. After hearing this, Zhao Zan paused and said, actually, this is not what we meant. This is the old man's request. No matter what, you have to make a marriage arrangement this time. At this time, Su Qingyu said in a deep voice, Yun'er, come with me. With that said, the two came to a quiet room. Then, Su Qingyu asked seriously, Yun'er, tell me the truth, are you really not interested in anyone? Aha, Zhao Hengyan nodded wildly after hearing this. Then you don't have any other girls you like. It doesn't matter which one. Don't be like the Han family anymore. Zhao Hengyan shook his head crazily. It's bad. It seems that Yun Jingyan's parents don't like it. Could it be? Then he seemed to think of something. Let me tell you something, don't be shocked. Hearing Su Qingyu's serious tone, Zhao Hengyan thought to himself, it's as I expected. Actually, your sister Mengli has no blood relationship with you. We adopted her. After reading the plot of the original work, Zhao Hengyan already knew everything. But he still acted very surprised just to reveal his secret. Ah, seeing Zhao Hengyan's shocked look, Su Qingyu couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. She knew that Zhao Hengyan would suffer a huge blow when she said this. After all, the two have had a good relationship since childhood. I thought she had a special fighting spirit before. When I adopted her, I thought she would be your wife in the future. But your father and I believe that relationships cannot be forced. After all, you will meet a girl you like in the future, so this matter has never been mentioned. With that said, Su Qingyu looked at Zhao Hengyan, who looked incompetent and cursed. Who knew you liked being a licking dog and became addicted to it? It's embarrassing for both of us. Zhao Hengyan. No, can you please stop talking about this? I also want to lose face. Moreover, your son is the one who licks the dog. What does it have to do with me, Zhao Hengyan? After today's incident, the old man made it clear that he must arrange a marriage for you when he comes back. As you said, other aristocratic families all have their own evil intentions besides not liking him. In this case, Su Mengli is the best choice. Not only has she watched you grow up, but you two also have a good relationship. The most important thing is that Mengli has taken over the family affairs for many years. Not only does it reassure us, but it can also help you better. Su Qingyu guided Zhao Hengyan step by step and analyzed it for him. Zhao Hengyan still felt a little uncomfortable at first. From the outside, she is still her sister. Even if the facts are clarified later, reputation will be somewhat affected. But then he thought, this is your business, Zhao Hengyan's business, what does it have to do with me, Zhao Hengyan? I am just a book wearer without any psychological burden. And there is no blood relationship, which seems to make people even more excited. Reputation. My reputation is as big as my fist. However, Zhao Hengyan said again in accordance with the principle of 3 concessions and 3 rejections. Isn't this a bit bad? The question is it really so urgent? After hearing this, Su Qingyu gave him a blank look. How about you put it aside for now? Urgent. It must be urgent. You are so determined to kill yourself that you don't even know when you will kill yourself. Do you know how big the family fortune you are going to inherit is? Zhao Hengyan shook his head like a rattle. Don't ask, I just don't know and I don't want to know. Let's put it this way, if the Zhao family is directly wiped out, China will lose at least 1/4 of its national power. In the future, you will inherit an army of millions, countless intelligence forces, assassin forces, and hundreds of companies. After hearing this, Zhao Hengyan remained calm on the surface. My heart has been in a storm for a long time, and I can't calm down for a long time. Isn't this an alternative version of Samsung? And I am the only heir to this super terrorist force. You can't blame me for being too promiscuous. It's not that I want to be high profile, it's just the minimum configuration. Predecessor, listen to me, the water here is too deep for you to control. Let me, Zhao Hengyan said helplessly in his heart. Seeing that Zhao Hengyan didn't reply for a long time, Su Qingyu immediately stood up and left and said, if you don't answer, I'll take it as your acquiescence. As soon as these words came out, Zhao Hengyan woke up from a dream. Okay, it's been clearly arranged like this. At the beginning, he was still somewhat burdened. But then I thought about it, I am just a coward who wears books. But the plan was disrupted and I don't know what happened now. System. Use 10,000 villain points to learn the Great Compassion gift. Congratulations to the host for successfully learning the 2nd level of Great Compassion. Immediately afterwards, a word of light appeared in my mind along with an introduction. The method of moving the acupuncture points of the rotating world. Penetrate the acupoints of the whole body's energy channels. The spiritual power reaches everywhere and reaches everywhere. The spiritual energy is endless. Escape the meridians and move the acupuncture points. Ignore all acupoints. Intercept the pulse. Capture and restrain the techniques. After completing the training, there are no prohibitions or backlash when using the techniques and weapons below the Emperor level, and there will be less backlash for those above the Emperor level. After reading it, Zhao Hengyan couldn't calm down anymore. This is simply a magical skill. Today's events can be described as full of twists and turns and surprises one after another. Putting aside the immune restriction bonus for oneself, this ignores the backlash and restrictions below the Emperor level. This directly greatly increases the means he can currently use. As for reducing backlash at the Emperor level and above, this means that he has many more ways to save his life. The long-hidden white tiger war blade will soon appear in the world. Zhao Hengyan was just about to go out and leave the room when he suddenly thought of what to expect next. Suddenly I felt tightness in my chest and dizziness. He couldn't help but have a question in his mind. Is it really so important for a big family to continue the family lineage? Not only was this matter urgently arranged for him, but even his future path was planned when he was a child. It seems that having money doesn't necessarily mean you don't have troubles. After a long while, Zhao Hengyan took a long breath and then opened the door with difficulty and walked out. Seeing Su Mengli's red face that was bleeding in her loving eyes, coupled with the wonderful atmosphere in the hall, it all goes without saying. Well, I suddenly have some insights and am ready to retreat for a while. Wait, the movement may be a bit loud, can you help me protect the law? Upon seeing this, Zhao Hengyan immediately changed the subject. A bit big, Zhao Zan stared at his son, wanting to see what tricks he could come up with. Go ahead, we people have never seen any big storms. After saying that, Zhao Hengyan walked into the secret room. Looking at the origin of the holy beast that exuded strange light in his hand, Zhao Hengyan felt that the blood and heartbeat in his body had accelerated. He always felt like there was a force attracting him and exciting him. System, how do you use this? Looking at the light ball in his hand, Zhao Hengyan was confused and didn't know how to start. Swallow it, the system replied coldly. Then what? Zhao Hengyan swallowed it in one gulp according to the system's instructions, and then there was no movement. Refining it. Immediately, Zhao Hengyan used his spiritual power to catalyze the origin. The moment the spiritual power touched it, the ball of light began to decompose. Countless small light spots are continuously generated from the big ball and flow along the meridians. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Hengyan suddenly felt his blood boiling all over his body and rushing straight to Tianling Gai. Damn it, it's not going to explode. He felt like all the blood and spiritual energy in his body was rushing to the sky and he couldn't stop. He now looked like a bottle of Coke that had been shaken wildly and then spiked with Mentos. After the light ball disappeared, the entire spiritual pool began to boil. Hot, too hot. Now there is only one thought in Zhao Hengyan's mind, and that is heat. The whole body feels dizzy and swollen due to heat. He felt that his consciousness was gradually blurring and he might fall to the ground at any time. A wisp of white smoke gradually rose outside the fair skin. Well, smell good. Suddenly, Zhao Hengyan smelled the smell of barbecue. Immediately afterwards, his clothes and hair began to burn. The whole person is on fire. Next is the spiritual pool in the body, and the blood begins to boil. Even the meridians felt like they were being burned and broken. Countless demons poured into his heart. If it weren't for a white tiger that exorcised evil spirits for him, he would have gone crazy at this moment. However, the majestic white tiger seems to be almost exhausted from the heat now. I saw it lying in the spiritual pool, sticking out its tongue. After a long time, all the spiritual energy was evaporated and his body began to crack. Water, I want water. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The thought of water kept shouting and roaring in my heart. I want water, water. Finally, after he uttered this word, bursts of thunder sounded in the sky. What followed was the coming of heavenly tribulation and the falling of thunder. One way, 2 ways, 3 ways. I don't know how many thunderbolts fell, and the small cracks on Zhao Hengyan's body gradually became larger. However, due to the evaporation of blood, not a drop of blood was shed. Now he looked like a mummy, his whole body was naked and his skin was dry and cracked. If it weren't for the white tiger in the spiritual pool, he might have died from the heat. However, since his bones are already golden, they have been forged by flames. It burns harder and shines brighter. Boom! Suddenly, the sky changes color. The originally dark sky turned dark red in an instant, and then a strong wind blew. This made the originally peaceful imperial city become hot and hot. Grandma, what day is it today? I just saw the 5 emperors fighting, and now there is something strange in the sky. Holy shit, why is it so hot? Why do I feel so hot? Because you're on fire. Quote. Many aristocratic families in the first ring released their spiritual consciousness to see which family was responsible for the noise. Suddenly, they found that the elders of other families except the Zhao family had appeared. Is it the Zhao family again? The Zhao family is going to defy heaven. The Zhao family wants to rebel, and they have made so much noise in half a month. Why don't our Wei family have such children? Don't be anxious, let me be anxious first. No matter how you say it, my Yun family is one of the top 3, yet not even a single junior can live up to the expectations. Quote, Urgent, 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 I'm anxious to kill you. Quote. Zhao Zhan and others sitting in the hall did not feel any sense of security. They all held their breath and stared at the situation outside the Zhao family. Did he really make such a big fuss? Zhao Zhan looked at the vision caused by his son and asked dumbfounded. Xiaoyan also made such a big noise when his fighting spirit awakened before. At that time, his fighting spirit was upgraded to SSS. Will it become SSR now? Su Mengli asked with curiosity in her beautiful eyes. No way, absolutely impossible. Su Moen immediately denied it. Why? Because only one person has had the spiritual energy since it was revived, and he is a born SSR level fighting spirit. After saying that, Su Moen paused and added, if this kid is really an SSR, then I will tell my ancestors and use the entire Su family's efforts to cultivate him together. Really? Su Qingyu asked with a half smile. To cultivate Zhao Hengyan's incredible talent requires huge resources and all-round protection to avoid any accidents. Although the Zhao family is rich, they cannot allocate a huge amount of resources in a short period of time. If there is support from the Su family, everything will be fine. But after all, she was already the mistress of the Zhao family and could not be counted as a Su family, which made it difficult for her to show up. But Su Moen is different. He is currently a direct descendant of Su Moen, and is even expected to become the next generation head of the Su family. If he takes the lead, this matter will most likely be accomplished. Really? Su Moen said seriously. After all, our two families are considered married, and Zhao Hengyan is considered half of the Su family. It's good for both of us to have such a strong talent and develop it well. With these words, several people present nodded silently. Why is the air so dry? Zhao Zhan suddenly frowned and said in a deep voice. I feel like my spiritual power is losing. Among them, Su Mengli, who had the lowest cultivation level, noticed something was wrong with her body. The water in the spiritual pool seemed to have evaporated. At the same time, a ball of fire formed in Zhao Hengyan's body. The white tiger was lying on the ground to cool off, but when he saw the fire, he stood up instantly and looked at it fiercely. Roar! Suddenly, the originally calm white tiger let out a thundering roar. The originally white tiger body showed a faint golden light. The fireball also continued to condense and change, and finally turned into a red bird. The bird raised its head to the sky and sang loudly, making a sound as if its liver and intestines were being broken. Dong dong dong. Just when the bird and the tiger were arguing, bells sounded in Zhao Hengyan's body. This made the bird and the tiger immediately calm down. The bell rang, and all the restlessness in the body calmed down. The white tiger took advantage of this gap and opened its huge mouth to attack the little bird. As a golden light flashed over, the little bird was immediately torn into pieces. These fragments turned into small red balls and merged into Zhao Hengyan's body. Afterwards, the originally dry spirit pool became moist again and flames were ignited on it. It's like a natural gas fire. It's just that the color of this flame is dark red. Then a strong wind blew, and streaks of red lightning fell over the Lingqi. Hoo hoo hoo. The 9 thunders ended and the strong wind subsided. A thrilling long cry sounded again, and the next second a red bird flew up from the spiritual pool. This time, not only was it much larger in appearance than last time, but it was also less aggressive and more docile. By the time the big bird landed, all the injuries on Zhao Hengyan's body were recovering. The entire body seemed to have been forged by flames, becoming tougher and stronger, and all the previous hidden injuries had been fully recovered. The whole thing is as good as new as if it were restored to factory settings. Call. After a long while, Zhao Hengyan breathed a long sigh of relief and opened his deep eyes. Nowadays, one can tell at a glance that his demeanor is extraordinary and different from ordinary people. His eyes were originally covered with a layer of light gold, but now his irises have turned bright red, and there is a flame symbol on the pupil. Why do you feel a little cold? With that said, Zhao Hengyan stood up and took a look and found that he was naked. Holy shit, where are my clothes? Hey, what is this? I saw white and red lights shining on his 2 arms respectively. After a while, the light faded, and the white tiger and the red bird appeared respectively. After he tried wiping it, he found that it couldn't be wiped off. Is this a tattoo? It's over. This life is ruined. I can't get to the shore. Sad and crying, Then I thought about it, that's not right. I am now the heir of a top-notch family, why should I go ashore? I have a Suzaku on the left, a white tiger on the right, and one in the middle will be fine. If someone stands in the way of a person, someone will kill someone. If someone stands in the way of a Buddha, someone will kill a person. Looking at his majestic appearance, Zhao Hengyan showed a satisfied smile. Soon, he took out a set of clothes and put them on. Zhao Hengyan explored his spiritual pool and found that there were already 2 holy beasts, Suzaku and White Tiger. Immediately, he activated his spiritual energy and found that his spiritual energy was actually accompanied by a layer of white flame. Since he was carrying the Suzaku war spirit, he quickly learned that this was the legendary Nanming Lihuo. This fire is extremely domineering and has such powerful attack power that it can burn everything. In addition, it can burn the soul and the spiritual power in the body. More importantly, the damage caused to anything with evil attributes can be doubled. Okay. Zhao Hengyan was delighted and praised repeatedly. Now, he can be said to be the nemesis of the demon cultivator. However, I remember why the bell rang just now. Suddenly, he thought of the bell he heard just now when he was unconscious. System, what happened just now? If you are in doubt, ask the system. Go back to the host. Because the situation was critical just now, the Dongwang bell automatically appeared and came to protect the host. Does the Dongwang bell still have this function? Looking at the description on the introduction, Zhao Hengyan once thought it was a big killer, but he didn't expect it to have defensive functions. Back to the host, the Dongwang bell is too powerful and needs to be explored by yourself. It is recommended that the host emperor level will use the Dongwang bell in the future to avoid backlash. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan was greatly shocked. I didn't expect the Dongwang bell to be so powerful. Even the system reminded me that I could only use it after reaching the emperor level. You know, I have cultivated the 2nd level of the Great Compassion, and I can already use high-grade magic weapons beyond the level. Since he had suffered losses for not listening to the system's advice when practicing Great Compassion Fu, Zhao Hengyan chose to listen to the advice this time. After all, it's only after you've experienced pain that you know. Host, since you have 2 fighting souls, your talents have been greatly improved, so the basic villain value consumed in practicing the unique skills will be reduced. Meteor Fist, 500 right pointing arrow 250. Mountain and Sea Secret, 800 right pointing arrow 400. Holy Magic, 1000 right pointing arrow 500. Now Zhao Hengyan couldn't sit still anymore. If he was given a 50% discount, he wouldn't be able to take off directly. Practice the Shanhai Ju to the 6th level. Zhao Hengyan immediately said to the system. The next second, Zhao Hengyan's whole body glowed with light blue light. After a few breaths, the light faded. Zhao Hengyan closed his eyes tightly and felt the changes in his body carefully. Although he is only at the level of a war commander, his body has now reached a new level of strength. When you learn the Shanhai Ju to the 5th level, you gain the characteristics of a son of the earth. Not only will the body be as hard and strong as a mountain, but the power of the earth can also be used to provide oneself with spiritual power and even heal wounds. Zhao Hengyan believed that with all the skills working, his physical strength would be comparable to the beasts in the Battle Emperor realm. It would be an understatement to call himself a giant humanoid beast. After realizing that he had done pretty much what he was doing, Zhao Hengyan decided it was time to get out of seclusion. Out. Seeing Zhao Hengyan coming out of the secret room, Zhao Zan and others noticed the changes in his body at a glance. The whole person's temperament has improved to a higher level, becoming majestic and noble without any trace of popularity. Zhao Zan frowned slightly, recalling where he had encountered this kind of aura. Zhao Hengyan replied after hearing this. You kid is making so much noise. Su Moen said with a joking smile. The entire imperial capital knows about the strange phenomena caused by the Zhao family. If we weren't here, I'm afraid you would really be in danger. Yunur, have you done something again? Is someone okay? Su Qingyu asked with concern on her face. Fine. After saying that, Zhao Hengyan revealed his fighting spirit. I saw a white tiger and a red bird appearing on the left and right hands respectively. Both of them exude the aura of holy beasts. Double SSS level talents. It's still the holy beast fighting spirit. This caused everyone in the venue to exclaim. You know, an SSS is extremely precious, let alone double SSS. If a commoner child has a B-level talent, he or she will receive support from the state, and if a child has an A-level talent, some families will help him or even form a marriage alliance. Those of S-level or above will receive support and resources from all forces. Mo Wen, what do you think now? Su Qingyu saw this and immediately asked Su Moen, even if it is not SSR, it is one of a kind. Throughout human history, they have existed like a rarity. Sister, don't worry. This is true, and the ancestors of the Su family will definitely agree. After all, dual SSS levels are rare. That's good. After receiving this answer, Su Qingyu nodded with satisfaction. A new book for a newbie. I hope all readers can remind me of more updates, comment, or give me free gifts. All your actions are the author's greatest support. As a newbie writing a book, I know there are many deficiencies. If you have any comments or ideas, please point them out. Grateful. China, the imperial capital. In the majestic palace in the imperial capital, Yang Heng, the current emperor of China and the head of the Yang family, was sitting on the dragon throne. Although Yang Heng was wearing a dragon robe, there was no trace of nobility about him. His face was haggard and pale, and there was a sense of helplessness between his brows. Everyone, what do you think of the Zhao family today? Yang Heng said calmly, his eyes scanning everyone present. These are the royal Yang family or in-law families. Your Majesty, I think that the Zhao family is currently in a prosperous period and it is not appropriate for them to become enemies. I also think. Me too. Me too. Yang Heng nodded silently after hearing this. However, every time he nodded, he felt his heart twitch, because he couldn't bear it. He felt that what he did as an emperor was very aggrieved, even more aggrieved than the royal family of John's country. Basically, anyone can climb on top of you, but there is nothing you can do about it. I can't beat him again and again, I don't have much money, my health is not good and my level is low. Yang Heng felt like crying but had no tears in his heart. He really wanted to say loudly, "My family, who understands?" Your Majesty, I think that if we gather our strength first, we will be able to solve this hidden danger in the Zhao family and restore the imperial power in the future. One of the princes raised his hand and said. In addition to Yang Zan and Yang Wei, there are about a dozen princes in the royal family. Yes, Your Majesty, currently, except for the ancestor who is a saint, he is on par with the Zhao family, and cannot be beaten by anyone else. Take this time as an example, one Zhao Zan can beat these 5 emperors so hard that they can't even lift their heads. Another prince raised his hand and said, Father, I have an idea. At this time, the eldest princess Yang Rui raised her hand to signal. You say. Immediately afterwards, Yang Rui took out the prepared videos and information and showed them to everyone. This man's name is Yi Chen, he is a famous civilian genius. I investigated and found out that he is really a genius. Without any resources, you can become a combat master at the age of 18 by relying only on a small amount of resources obtained from your own martial arts academy. Looking at his battle in this martial arts competition, it can be said that he is the first person besides Zhao Hengyan. The next second, videos of Yi Chen's Dabi battle and other battle scenes were played. Yang Heng looked at it and asked slowly, Rui, what are your thoughts? Yang Heng had secretly wondered whether he was trying to win over Yi Chen to fight against the Zhao family. My idea is that we can win over Yi Chen. With a talent like his, given enough resources, he will definitely reach unprecedented heights in the future. Besides, Yi Chen and Zhao Hengyan have a lot of grudges, so they can be our allies and targets of support. Yang Rui stated her thoughts in an orderly manner. Yang Heng showed joy after hearing this and nodded heavily. Yes, then I'll leave this matter to you. Our royal resources are no worse than those of those super families. If it doesn't work, we can still send a document and get it stamped. That boy from the Zhao family has a chance to go to the secret realm. It will be later. Add Yi Chen's name. As he said that, Yang Heng looked outside with a gloomy look. Imperial Capital First Hospital. Yi Chen was lying quietly on the hospital bed with bandages all over his body. He knew that both his teacher Ji Yuzan and the vice principal Yu Zushi who helped him died tragically at the hands of Zhao Hengyan. What he didn't expect even more was that Zhao Zan actually came out. Due to Yi Chen's innate super perception ability, he could feel every move outside at this moment. Even if he is in a coma, he can still sense. Zhao Hengyan, I'm not done with you. Even though he was lying on the hospital bed with serious injuries, Yi Chen still gnashed his teeth and cursed. Soon, he found two figures beside him. How could it be Han Ruishuang and Fang Lingling? Could it be? Yes, it must be like this. Then Yi Chen immediately filled in everything in his mind. He thought that Han Ruishuang must still have him in her heart, but was just coerced by Zhao Hengyan. Ruishuang, I'm sorry, I don't have the ability to protect you. Give me some time to grow up and I will make Zhao Hengyan kneel down and apologize to you. At this moment, he secretly thought in his heart. Lingling, I have to go back. But Yi Chen is still in a coma. Fang Lingling pouted and acted coquettishly to Han Ruishuang. That's your business. You asked me to accompany you to send Yi Chen to the hospital. I said a long time ago that I will have nothing to do with him in the future. Han Ruishuang still said coldly. Ruishuang, are you really that heartless? Yi Chen was injured for you after all. Fang Lingling looked at Han Ruishuang's reaction and asked in confusion. After all, the relationship between the two of them was very good some time ago. It can be said that they were more than friends but less than lovers. Hearing this, Han Ruishuang's heart was full of mixed feelings and entanglement. This is the matter, and this is the reason. It was indeed because she asked Yi Chen to make a bet with Zhao Hengyan, but it was also because of Yi Chen that her Han family was destroyed. The admiring look she had before when looking at Yi Chen has now become very complicated. I know I owe him, let's talk about this later. I have to go, otherwise it will cause misunderstandings from Mr. Zhao. After saying that, Han Ruishuang turned and left. Looking at the departing figure, Fang Lingling shook her head helplessly. Mr. Zhao, Han Ruishuang would not call him that before, and she hated such aristocratic children the most. What on earth made her change so much? Suddenly, she was a little curious about what happened after she went to the Zhao family that day. Then, Fang Lingling turned her head and looked at Yi Chen, who was lying on the bed, with pity in her eyes. Yi Chen, Ruishuang has changed. I wonder if you still feel that everything you have done for her is worth it. Some things should be let go, don't be so persistent. I believe that with your talent, you will definitely be able to make a name for yourself in the future, and the future will be better. After saying that, Fang Lingling sighed helplessly and glanced at him faintly. It would be great if you could look back at me. Imperial capital, Zhao family. 7 killing secrets of gods and demons. When Zhao Hengyan was looking at the emperor-level skills in front of him and was about to pick it up to read, the system's prompt sound suddenly sounded. Warning, warning. Because the host has greatly affected the development of the plot, the Heavenly Dao has made adjustments to this. In order to better kill the protagonist, this villain system will also be upgraded to respond. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan couldn't help but frown. The plot collapsed. Didn't I just block Yi Chen's early path and dismantle the ladder to climb up? Is that the case? Chapter 51. During this time without the system's company, Zhao Hengyan silently studied the book of the 7 killing secrets of gods and demons. This technique is suitable for swords and knives. After mastering it, you can kill everything in the world. The unfaithful can be killed. The unfilial can be killed. The unkind can be killed. The unrighteous can be killed. The unruly, unwise and untrustworthy. The great Western king said kill, kill, kill. Seeing these murderous words, Zhao Hengyan was so scared that his hands trembled and he threw the book on the ground. How terrible! Although there were 2 sacred beasts to suppress evil and exorcise evil for him, Zhao Hengyan was still frightened at this time. This seemingly plain word, kill, just corresponds to the 3 words of the 7 killing secrets. Each word, kill, contains a terrifying killing intent, which makes people shudder. It is worthy of being an emperor-level technique, it is just different. Zhao Hengyan frowned slightly and fell into deep thought. But why didn't the Golden Sword Emperor use such a powerful technique? He was easily crippled by my father. Don't blame the technique if you are not good enough. Suddenly, a voice full of pressure came. Dad. Zhao Hengyan was stunned for a moment. What happened? You should know that every house of a first-class family has set up restrictions to prevent people from eavesdropping. Especially the room of a distinguished young master like himself, which is even higher. But Zhao Zhan could actually hear his mumbling. Why, are you shocked? That's because you know nothing about the emperor. Zhao Zan added faintly. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan sighed helplessly. It seems that he still doesn't understand this world deeply enough, and he doesn't know a lot of things. It seems that he has to be more careful at home in the future. If he does something weird, he will die on the spot. Just when Zhao Hengyan was still studying the 7 killing techniques of gods and demons, the long silent system sound rang again. Ding! Ahahaha, the system is back. Dear host, did you miss me? Zhao Hengyan, what's updated? Faced with such a second-year system, Zhao Hengyan twitched his mouth helplessly and asked. Nothing. Zhao Hengyan, nothing, so what do you mean by market? To entertain me, right? Zhao Hengyan was so angry that he cursed on the spot. If it weren't for the system upgrade, he would have gone out to enjoy this wonderful life. Instead of not daring to go anywhere now, he would only read books seriously at home. Really, how could he be a scholar? This system is updated, and the data has been updated through the Heavenly Tao. Due to the changes in the Heavenly Tao, 3 new female protagonists of Destiny have appeared. The plot will also be adjusted, and some plots will arrive in advance. Because the Heavenly Tao can't stand you using the background to oppress the protagonist has also been given some background. Zhao Hengyan realized that something seemed wrong, and frowned unconsciously. That is to say, the version update strengthens Yi Chen, right? Yes, host, you are really smart. The system praised in a mean way. Zhao Hengyan, then what's the point of playing? I won't play anymore. Forget strengthening the protagonist, but you don't upgrade this system to help. The system said helplessly. Host, it's not that I don't want to help you. It's just that Yi Chen's road has been blocked by you. If he doesn't strengthen him, he can't play anymore. Who asked you to directly block his early path? After hearing this, Zhao Hengyan nodded slightly in agreement. Although the wool comes from the sheep, it can be harvested at will. But all the hair follicles were shaved off by myself, and I couldn't move anymore. How can I cut the leeks when their roots have been pulled out? After all, Zhao Hengyan still blames himself. The cutting was too harsh and didn't give him a chance to grow. Zhao Hengyan calmed down and asked, Dear system, the 2 of us are closer than brothers. You can't survive without me as a host, and I can't defeat the boss without your system. Look, can you give me some strength? System. Okay, call me Xiao Tiantian when you need me. Just now you called me Mrs. Cow when you didn't need me. Everyone in the family would die speechless when encountering this kind of host. Just like that, the system fell into silence. After a long time, it appeared again and spoke slowly. Please host choose and complete the task. 1. Continue to be engaged to Su Mengli and complete the family mission. 2. Seek the original love Yun Jingyan and get engaged to her to complete the family mission. Quote. Zhao Hengyan almost scolded the system again when he heard this. Okay, let's play like this, right? Wouldn't it be better to just give yourself something to enhance your attributes? Come and give yourself this life and death dilemma. Zhao Hengyan was already very troubled by this matter, and he was even directly arranged by his family. Now the system is asking him to choose again. This is like someone asking you, do you want a wife? Then let you choose one of the 2. The most important thing is that these 2 are not only beautiful in appearance but also in your aesthetic sense. Other than that, everything about his temperament is in line with your expectations. System, I want to ask you something. Host, say it. Zhao Hengyan closed his eyes and took a long breath before asking, can I choose them all? System. The system exclaimed on the spot, you. The system thought it was invincible, but it didn't expect there were still masters. Zhao Hengyan smiled and said, why, it can't be done. Only children make choices. As an adult, I want them all. The system immediately said, okay, I will pamper you. But a friendly reminder, don't come to this system if something big happens in the future. After settling this matter, Zhao Hengyan was going to go find Yun Jingyan and see if he could help her recognize her bride. Under such well-founded circumstances, his parents should believe the facts of Yun Jingyan's life experience, right? Then just make your intentions clear to them. Zhao Hengyan believes that his parents will not object. After all, you have made great efforts to delay the Zhao family. You don't want to lose this important opportunity, right? As for the various rumors that will appear in the future, it is not something he considers at all and let his parents solve it for themselves. This world is very different from the blue star where I lived in my previous life. Here, as long as your status are high enough, you can have multiple legal spouses. But the premise must be that your status is higher than that of the other person. In addition, it requires the nod of approval from the family elders. Without family inheritance, even if it complies with the imperial constitution, he can only be regarded as an illegitimate child and cannot inherit or own family property. After all, no matter how big the empire's constitution is, it can't be bigger than this group of people above. Due to the consideration of the issue of heirs, generally large families will not agree to the head of the family remarrying unless the mistress is infertile. The new head of every big family almost always climbs out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Zhao Hengyan was thinking about how to help Yun Jingyan recognize his bride. Since she is the illegitimate daughter of the head of the Yun family, Yun Hong's blood must be the most suitable for comparison. But as the head of the Yun family, and with the strength of the great emperor, Yun Hong couldn't easily get close to him, let alone get his blood. Then another way is to use the current direct blood of the Yun family for comparison. Although not as convincing as Yun Hong, it still comes from Yun Hong. Perhaps proving whether Yun Jingyan is an illegitimate daughter is not the most important thing. What is important is to prove that she is a member of the Yun family. As long as it can be proven that she is from the Yun family, the rest of the problems will be solved by the Zhao family. Yu Yan, how much do you know about the Yun family? Zhao Hengyan turned to ask Yi Yuyan beside him. After all, as a killer organization, the intelligence aspect is not much different. Young master wants to ask about something about the Yun family. How much do you know about the direct descendants of the Yun family? Not much, but I still know the general situation. Yi Yuyan looked at Zhao Hengyan with confusion. Why was she suddenly interested in the Yun family? You have no grievances against someone, so why are you targeting them? Tell me. Yun Yan, the current young head of the Yun family, is 25 years old, and the specific level of the Zan sect is unknown. He often goes to Fengyu places, especially Huahai Tower, the top club in the imperial capital. Quote, Yun Wenmo, the legitimate daughter of the Yun family, is 22 years old, a peak warrior, and has a marriage contract with you, young master. He has some attainments in piano, chess, calligraphy and painting. Quote, Yun Wei, the second young master of the Yun family, is 16 years old this year, and his level of fighting spirit is unknown. Currently, he is still a student, studying at the high school affiliated to the Imperial Martial Arts Academy. Quote, Yi Yuyan stated everything she knew about the situation to Zhao Hengyan. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan's brows formed the character, Chuan. After a few minutes of contemplation, Zhao Hengyan decided to start with Yun Yan. Among the three siblings of the Yun family, Yun Yan seems to be the most difficult to obtain. After all, he is secretly protected by the guardian. But this is also the easiest, because he often goes to Fengyu places and can sneak up on others when they are not prepared. As for the protectors, most of the top families are war emperors or war gods who protect the road, except for the Zhao family. After all, Zhao Hengyan is the only one in the family, so if something happens, it will be fine. It is precisely because of this that when the family saw this situation, they frantically urged him to marry. Yu Yan, I'll give you an important task. Zhao Hengyan looked at Yi Yuyan with a serious face and whispered in her ear. You do this first, then this, and finally this. Opening parenthesis. 10,000 words are omitted here. Understand. After listening to Zhao Hengyan's almost perfect description, Yi Yuyan nodded in understanding. After finishing, Zhao Hengyan went out, preparing to find help from his mother. After all, Yi Yuyan is only a master in the realm of the War Emperor. It would be difficult to deal with the god of war or even the quasi-emperor. At the door of the first room, Zhao Hengyan suddenly saw a beautiful figure sitting in the hall. Looking at the white hair, he immediately recognized who it was. Sister Shuiyu. After hearing the sound, Shuiyu turned around and looked. When she found out it was Zhao Hengyan, she immediately showed a smile that eclipsed the world. Young master, what's the matter? Ah, nothing. Why is Sister Shuiyu here? After hearing Shuiyu's question, Zhao Hengyan smiled sarcastically. Something happened, of course something happened. But the problem is that he is a powerful emperor, the strongest being under his mother. He didn't have a warrant to command her, so how could he give orders to her at will? Such masters must be treated with sufficient respect. The Lord ordered me to follow the young master to ensure the safety of the young master. Since there's nothing else to do, I'll just sit here. Shui Yu said softly, showing that slight smile. Ah. Zhao Hengyan looked at Shui Yu with a shocked expression, and his heart was already in turmoil. This isn't right. The emperor and the strong man came to protect his own path, even unofficial historians would not dare to write this. With a half-step emperor, a family can settle down in the imperial capital and become a first-rate, least second-rate, top force. With the emperor, there is no problem in sitting in the top class. There are only a few dozen emperors in the entire Hua kingdom who have been exposed to the public, plus the hidden families support hundreds of people to death. Such a noble person actually protects himself. Although he has an extraordinary status in the Zhao family, this is too much of a waste of natural resources. However, in addition to being shocked, Zhao Hengyan was more moved. I didn't expect that my parents and family would take me so seriously and care about me so much. This kind of family situation is probably unique among the entire imperial family. Shui Yu looked at Zhao Hengyan's stunned look and couldn't help laughing. What's wrong, young master, do you not like your sister to accompany you, so you act so surprised? Zhao Hengyan, looking at this woman's charming expression, Zhao Hengyan couldn't help but feel a chill running down his spine. Why do I feel weird? What's the matter? With someone as powerful and beautiful as Sister Shui Yu accompanying me, it's not too late for me to be happy. Since the young master is satisfied, that's fine. As long as the young master doesn't mind, I can do whatever I want. Anything. Zhao Hengyan. L. Listening to Shui Yu's words, he looked into her loving eyes again. Zhao Hengyan unknowingly felt his heart beating faster, blood flowing throughout his body faster, and his body getting hotter and hotter. The next second, a tiger's roar and a phoenix's cry came from within his body. Nanming Lihuo burns from the spirit pool along the meridians to the whole body. Soon, Zhao Hengyan's body and mind recovered as before. At this moment, Zhao Hengyan said secretly in his heart, this woman must be protecting her, dares to use charm on me. Fortunately, I have the protection of a holy beast and am immune to all evil spirits. While Shui Yu looked calm and composed on the surface, his thoughts were ups and downs in his heart. No wonder the Lord ordered me to protect him. I didn't expect that a war commander could be immune to my charm. Looking at the majestic young man in front of him, Shui Yu felt more and more that he was not simple. No wonder the Lord attaches so much importance to it and doesn't hesitate to let me protect you. Shui Yu chuckled softly and explained to Zhao Hengyan. Sister Shui Yu, you are playing with fire. Be careful of playing with fire and getting burned. Zhao Hengyan said lightly, with an evil smile on his lips. If they didn't know that Zhao Zan and others must be observing in secret, plus they are protected by holy beasts. I'm afraid he just lost control and did something. Since Sister Shui Yu is with me now, can you do a small thing for me? Shui Yu looked at the young man in front of him and found it even more extraordinary. He was so scheming at such a young age and knew how to behave. Tell me who you want to kill. Zhao Hengyan. No, are you killers used to killing? I said nothing and was about to kill someone. Sister Shui Yu, be careful if a woman is too murderous and no one will like her. Shui Yu raised his eyebrows and smiled when he heard this. Then if no one wants my sister, she will have to rely on the young master's brother from now on. Zhao Hengyan had mixed feelings in his heart and had nothing to say. Let's get down to business. Zhao Hengyan immediately said seriously. Help me, first like this, then like this, and finally like that. Omit 10,000 words this time. Understand? Well, is it that simple? Shui Yu looked at Zhao Hengyan with confusion. Yes, it's that simple. The imperial capital, Huahai building. One of the most famous clubs in the imperial capital. Everyone who can come here must be rich and powerful. The young men who play here can find out each other's relatives. In a luxurious private room on the top floor, a handsome man wearing a white suit and a small braid on his back sat in the middle. On both sides of him were 5 or 6 beautiful women, each of them was exposed, and a large area of white was about to show. This person was Yun Yan, the famous playboy in the imperial capital and the heir of the Yun family. What's the matter? Only a few people came tonight. Yun Yan was unhappy when he saw that there were only a few good brothers coming. Young Master Yun, stop talking. It's all because of Zhao Hengyan from the Zhao family. A young man with a feminine appearance not far away said. Zhao Hengyan, what did the Zhao family do again? Yun Yan looked at everyone in confusion. After all, he had been playing here for 2 days and 2 nights and had not gone out, so he didn't know anything about what was happening outside. After hearing this, several young masters looked at each other, not knowing what to say for a moment. A young master who was playing a musical instrument told Yun Yan what happened today while playing music. Yun Yan's eyes widened like copper bells after hearing this, and he immediately exclaimed. Aha, is the Zhao family so amazing now? A middle-aged man who was learning a foreign language behind Yun Yan asked after hearing this, Young master, I think we should go back. The young master of the Zhao family performed so well, the head of the family must be a little dissatisfied with you. There is no way, other people's children are just good. Yun Yan also thought it made sense, after all, playing is playing, but the position of heir cannot be joked. Uncle Zong, let's go later. Yun Yan said respectfully to the middle-aged man. This person is Yun Yan's protector, Yun Zong, the elder of the Yun family. Okay, young master, I will finish learning foreign languages today first. Oh, baby. Just when everyone was doing physical fitness, they didn't know that there was a pair of eyes staring at them in the dark. This person was Yi Yuyan, who was sent here. At this moment, her brows were furrowed, and there was no concealment of disgust between her brows. Then, her delicate hands quickly formed a seal. A blood-red flying insect flew into the room. Imperial capital, Zhao Mansion. After dressing up, Zhao Hengyan was about to go out. At the corner, he bumped into Su Mengli, who was coming towards him. Ouch! Feeling a softness, Zhao Hengyan hugged her. Seeing Su Mengli's pain, Zhao Hengyan looked at her softly and said softly. Sister Mengli, are you okay? Su Mengli raised her eyes and carefully examined Zhao Hengyan, and found that he was dressed in a suit. So, she kept looking at Zhao Hengyan without saying anything, and sniffed a few times. The next second, the originally happy little face suddenly collapsed and became very gloomy, and there was no tenderness in her eyes. Zhao Hengyan saw Su Mengli's face change in a second, and he couldn't help but feel a pang in his heart, feeling that something bad was going to happen. Suddenly, he felt that the air around him cooled down rapidly, and a cold air spread from his feet to his head. The whole person was as cold as the coldest winter. Even trying to warm himself with the Nanming Lihuo didn't work. Sister Mengli, what's wrong? Zhao Hengyan forced a smile and asked with a smile. You are dressed so dignified and formal, are you going to date a girl from a certain family? Su Mengli asked coldly, and the whole person was like a machine without any emotion. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. He looked at the familiar yet unfamiliar Su Mengli in front of him with suspicion. What's going on? Why did her attitude change so quickly? Is this still the Sister Mengli I know? Su Mengli looked very strange to Zhao Hengyan, as if he was a completely different person. Based on the memory of the predecessor and my own understanding from the original work, Su Mengli had doted on him since she was a child, and was quite gentle to her. She is as beautiful as an iceberg on the outside, but as tender as water on the inside. Seeing that Zhao Hengyan didn't reply for a long time, Su Mengli asked sharply, what are you thinking about? Zhao Hengyan came back to his senses and said with a smile, Sister Mengli, you can't make random guesses about anything. Am I just guessing? You dressed up like this every time you went to Likhan Ruishuang. Are you trying to find her again? Zhao Hengyan felt like crying inside, and immediately said, it's impossible, I won't look for her again. Then which girl did you lick again? Sister Mengli, can't you just hope that I'll order something good? I'm so unbearable, Zhao Hengyan asked aggrievedly. Cannot, Su Mengli replied decisively. You are a famous dog licker in the imperial capital, who knows what you will do? That's called deep affection, Zhao Hengyan retorted in a low voice, but did not dare to look at her. After all, this is a matter for scholars. It cannot be called licking, but affection. Su Mengli was so angry that she couldn't even say anything. Later, Su Mengli took out a card and gave it to Zhao Hengyan. This is the amount of spiritual stones you pressed in this competition, more than 60 billion. Because all blue stars participated this time, we made a lot of money. How about yours? Zhao Hengyan asked immediately. It's all in here. If I don't miss the money, you can spend it yourself. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan felt warm in his heart. This is the sister Mengli I know, she always thinks about herself. Just why did you look so angry just now? After handing the card to Zhao Hengyan, Su Mengli turned and left. After taking only 2 steps, she stopped and turned back. You can spend the money as you like, don't worry if it's not enough. Zhao Hengyan was filled with emotion, but the smile on his face froze in the next second. But if I knew which girl you spent your money on to be affectionate with, you would be the most attractive. After saying that, he turned around and left, leaving Zhao Hengyan alone and in a mess. Call. Zhao Hengyan breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Su Mengli go away. Women are really scary creatures, and their mood changes are unpredictable. Also, how did she know that I was going to find Yun Jingyan? After taking just 2 steps, Zhao Hengyan suddenly thought of the threatening words just now. Then he slapped himself. What are you thinking about? I'll die, so what's there to be afraid of? Death under the peonies, even being a ghost is romantic. After a brief inner struggle, Zhao Hengyan strode forward. Which girl should I go to? How can you say such nonsense? I'm just kind-hearted and don't want to see others suffer. Yun Jingyan's life is very difficult, so I just care about them. As the most affectionate person in the imperial capital, I just want to give the girls a home. The imperial capital at night is the arrival of another world. Flashing neon lights, various sports cars, high-end banquets and active underground forces. When Zhao Hengyan drove a sports car alone through this noble circle, he felt that the world gradually became dreamy. All this seems like living in a cyberpunk world. Especially when the car is driving towards the outer circle, this feeling becomes more intense. The dirty streets, the dim alleys flashing with colorful neon lights, and the spiritual young men who exist in his world. Scenes after scenes were reflected in Zhao Hengyan's heart, reminding him of his past life. Although he is a bully, the situation he is in is not as bad as this. The source of all this has to start with the recovery of spiritual energy. People without spiritual power or money are concentrated in this area, which is also known as the outer ring. In fact, there is another word for it, ghetto. This huge gap between rich and poor made him understand why Yi Chen disliked him so much. Hey, Yi Chen, what's going on with Xiaodang? Why don't you give yourself some villain points? Yi Chen, I miss you. The corners of Zhao Hengyan's mouth raised slightly, and a touch of sadness appeared on his face. I wonder how brother Yi Chen is doing. For a long time, Zhao Hengyan's car stopped under a dim street light. Immediately afterwards, he took out his mobile phone and dialed a series of numbers he had just learned. At this time, he was in a dilapidated rental house. Yun Jingyan finished her busy day and just walked out of the bathroom. Although she is thin, her thin clothes still outline her graceful figure and plump fruits. Doo-doo-doo. Suddenly, she frowned and looked at the vibrating mobile phone beside her. Who would call me this late? Then he picked up the phone and asked softly. Hey, who are you? Soon, a familiar and majestic voice came from the other end of the phone. The person who helped you last time at Imperial University. Hearing this, Yun Jingyan's heart trembled involuntarily. Zhao, Mr. Zhao, what's the matter? After learning that it was Zhao Hengyan who called, Yun Jingyan suddenly felt mixed feelings in her heart. There is joy, doubt, fear and a little gratitude. I wanted to ask if you were free. Come out if you can. My car is nearby. Good. After saying that, the phone was hung up. At this moment, Yun Jingyan couldn't help but want to give herself a slap to wake herself up. I don't know why, but I just agreed as soon as my mind got hot. However, she couldn't understand. Zhao Hengyan and I have not had any interaction before. The two are people from two different worlds. But why would he come to find me? While changing her clothes, she thought about all the possibilities. Suddenly a very bold idea popped into her mind, but she quickly suppressed it. Impossible, how could someone like Mr. Zhao fall in love with me? And, if you really like her, you wouldn't chase girls like this, right? Zhao Hengyan, who was sitting in the car, suddenly felt nervous for some reason after hanging up the phone. What's going on? You feel like the blood in your body is running faster. You weren't that nervous in that famous scene with the 8 emperors. He thought back to the chat process just now and felt that his behavior was too abrupt. Obviously, he has no relationship with him, and the previous time could only be regarded as a one-time relationship. But he always appeared in front of her without any warning. It's better to be Yi Chen. Only when I face him do I feel like I have a brain. At this time, Zhao Hengyan thought of Xiao Deng again, who could give him gold coins. Yi Chen, who was still lying on the hospital bed, always felt like someone was calling him at night. Did Ruishuang miss me? I knew she still couldn't let go of me. When I get better, I must avenge her and defeat Zhao Hengyan. Feel the protagonist's extreme anger towards you, and add 200 villain points. +1, +1, +1, Zhao Hengyan. Zhao Hengyan was immediately stunned by the long-lost reminder sound. What's going on? I don't seem to have provoked him, right? Is there a problem with the version update? Just as Zhao Hengyan was still thinking, a white figure appeared in front of him. Is this a hard-moving feeling? Zhao Hengyan couldn't help but say after seeing the breathtaking face. Zhao, young master Zhao. Seeing Zhao Hengyan staring at him, Yun Jingyan's fair face suddenly blushed. Zhao Hengyan came back to his senses immediately after hearing someone remind him. Ah, how did you know I was here? The next second, he realized how stupid the question he asked was. Yun Jingyan didn't know how to answer after hearing it. After all, it was a rare opportunity to have a car in such a place, and it was a noble sports car. Who else could it be except Zhao Hengyan? Looking at the timid Yun Jingyan, Zhao Hengyan immediately motioned her to get in the car. Mr. Zhao, do you have something to ask me? How do you know my identity? Zhao Hengyan looked at her in shock. It seemed that he had not revealed any information, right? Facing this question, Yun Jingyan once again didn't know how to answer. She examined the young man in front of her, and for some reason she always felt that he was stupid. Mr. Zhao, have you forgotten that the competition of the Imperial Capital Martial Academy is broadcast live throughout China? Yun Jingyan reminded in a low voice. Hey, it sounds so reasonable. Zhao Hengyan wondered if it was a restriction imposed by the Heavenly Tao, or his own fault. Once he met a girl he liked, his behavior and IQ seemed to drop to 0. More stupid than a fool. He was a little suspicious whether it was this setting that caused the predecessor in the original work to lick Han Ruishuang crazily. Even after being cheated several times, he still didn't remember to listen to her. Mr. Zhao, looking at Zhao Hengyan who was in a daze, Yun Jingyan reminded him again in a low voice. Why is Mr. Zhao so weird? Is he in a daze? After coming back to his senses, Zhao Hengyan stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, and the car flew out quickly. Mr. Zhao, where are we going? Looking at Zhao Hengyan who stepped on the accelerator without saying a word, Yun Jingyan was a little panicked. The fair little face now became a little pale, without a trace of redness. Even the voice became trembling. She suddenly realized whether Zhao Hengyan would do something bad to her. Thinking of this, her eyes were a little red, and tears as big as beans flowed from the corners of her eyes. But thinking of Zhao Hengyan's horrible life experience, it might be a blessing for an ant like her to be noticed. Thinking of this, she felt a little relieved. At this moment, Zhao Hengyan was concentrating on driving and thinking about how to chat with others. He didn't notice Yun Jingyan's changes at all. Until he turned his head and found Yun Jingyan sobbing, he was stunned. Am I so scary? Why did she cry? Why are you crying? Hearing Zhao Hengyan's sudden concern, Yun Jingyan was speechless. What do you think? Take the girl out in the middle of the night and stare at her without saying anything. Then he stepped on the accelerator as soon as he got in the car, and kept a serious look without saying a word. In the world of Chuan Shu, there is a principle of asking the system when encountering problems. Zhao Hengyan always felt that something was wrong with him, so he asked. System, why do I feel like my IQ has become lower? Because you are a fool to begin with. Zhao Hengyan. Your system. Zongzi, speak up. Host, just pee and take a look at yourself. The system replied coldly and then went offline. This made Zhao Hengyan blush with anger. Seeing Zhao Hengyan's sudden blush, Yun Jingyan was so frightened that his whole body trembled. Young Master Zhao is so scary, why is he so moody? When Zhao Hengyan turned to look at Yun Jingyan beside him, he accidentally discovered something was wrong through the reflection of the glass. My eyes. Where are my titanium dog eyes? Looking at these deep and dark eyes, Zhao Hengyan was suddenly frightened and his face turned pale with fear. After awakening his fighting spirit, his current temperament has changed greatly. The most obvious thing is his eyes, which make people shudder. Suddenly, he understood something. That is, the soul and consciousness of his predecessor are still hidden in his body. He wants the top number online. Okay, you are so ignorant, right? I solved the protagonist for you, guarded this home, and changed the ending. And I also help you take care of every girl who loves you. If you don't thank me, forget it and still want to kill me. Even Tong Tiandai can't carry you. Since the person is gone, he should never appear again. I am the Zhao Hengyan now. Thinking of this, Zhao Hengyan's eyes suddenly turned cold and a terrifying aura emitted from his body. Immediately, he quickly activated Nanming Lihuo to protect his heart. Soon, he observed that his golden titanium dog eyes were back. Suddenly, Zhao Hengyan heard sobs in his ears. Turning around, I saw Yun Jingyan crying again. At this time, Yun Jingyan was under tremendous psychological pressure, and her heart had already collapsed. She bit her red lips lightly and looked at Zhao Hengyan aggrievedly and panicked. Who in the family understands? I pulled a girl out at night and kept going crazy in the car without saying anything. Yun Jingyan kept muttering in her heart, wanting to tell Zhao Hengyan. Young Master Zhao, if I haven't offended you, can you please give me a break? Zhao Hengyan felt a little pity in his heart when he saw Yun Jingyan's appearance. Soon he understood something. Don't be afraid. It was just a small problem when I went crazy while practicing. Zhao Hengyan explained to her softly. Hearing this, Yun Jingyan's heart suddenly dropped. She felt that the current Mr. Zhao was the one she first knew. After seeing that her condition had eased slightly, Zhao Hengyan asked again, have you finished eating? No, then I'll take you to eat first. After saying that, he stepped on the accelerator and the car flew forward quickly. Soon, the car drove near the first ring road. Look at the towering skyscrapers, busy streets, and various buildings with bright lights. All these scenes were engraved in Yun Jingyan's mind, making her unable to get rid of them. In her impression, the busiest place she had ever seen was near Tito University. But it is also an old city that has existed for thousands of years. There's no comparison to this. While Yun Jingyan was still recalling the scene just now, the car had stopped in front of a restaurant. We got off the car, what were you thinking about? Oh, looking at this luxuriously decorated restaurant, Yun Jingyan stopped before taking 2 steps. What's wrong? I'm afraid I can't afford it. Yun Jingyan responded timidly. I'm treating you to this meal, you don't need to pay. Besides, I didn't give you so many spiritual stones and resources last time, why didn't you use them? Zhao Hengyan looked at this silly girl and shook his head helplessly. Young Master Zhao, you are so kind to me, how can you let young Master Zhao spend money? As for those spiritual stones, I didn't get them myself, so I don't dare to use them. After saying that, Yun Jingyan took out the previous space ring from his pocket. These actions undoubtedly made Zhao Hengyan feel better in his heart. This is no more fragrant than Han Ruishuang. Not only does it look good, but it also knows how to be grateful. Thinking of this, Zhao Hengyan said secretly in his heart. Suddenly, he felt something strange in his heart, and he always felt depressed. She's a fool, scold her a few times and you're still impatient. Soon, Zhao Hengyan realized that his predecessor was causing trouble. Since I have been running Nanming Lihuo, I am still the owner of the account. Originally, Zhao Hengyan only approached Yun Jingyan in a planned way according to the description in the original work. After some contact, he thought she was indeed a good girl. As a result, his attitude and plans were ready to be adjusted. Aren't you going to give me face? As I said, I have something to do with you. If I can't even afford to treat someone to a meal, then I don't have to hang out in the imperial capital. Zhao Hengyan said calmly, trying to dispel Yun Jingyan's worries. All right. Hearing this, Yun Jingyan had no choice but to compromise. When he walked to the door, someone quickly recognized Zhao Hengyan. Zhao, Master Zhao, young Master Zhao actually comes to a place like this. It seems that the meal I had tonight was worth it, and I can actually see Mr. Zhao. Hey, Who is the woman next to Mr. Zhao? Will she be the new female companion? That shouldn't be the case. He's pretty good looking, but he's dressed in rustic clothes. At first glance, he doesn't belong to a wealthy family. Quote. After hearing someone talking, Yun Jingyan silently buried her head in her chest and distanced herself from Zhao Hengyan. Where's your manager? Seeing this scene, Zhao Hengyan said coldly. The next second, a solemn-looking man in a suit walked over. When he saw Zhao Hengyan, he immediately dropped any pretense and bowed humbly with a smile. Welcome, Mr. Zhao. Young Master Zhao can come to a small shop like ours. It's a great blessing. I'm so lucky to be able to ascend to heaven. Zhao Hengyan, stop it. Recover. I still like your unruly look just now. After saying that, the manager immediately stood solemnly and gracefully saluted Zhao Hengyan. Welcome, Mr. Zhao. My name is Shi Lian and I am the manager of this store. I wonder what Mr. Zhao's orders are. Zhao Hengyan threw a handful of spiritual stones on the ground and said coldly. Take me to the best private room in your store. If there is anyone, tell him to get lost. J. The manager raised his hand to signal to Zhao Hengyan, and bent down to lead the way. Seeing this scene, Zhao Hengyan shook his head helplessly and sneered. Sure enough, money is good everywhere. A handful of spiritual stones is nothing to Zhao Hengyan, but it means something different to this store and even Yun Jingyan. It may be their income in one day or even more, which is a goal that they cannot achieve in their lifetime. Looking at the dragon liver, phoenix marrow, delicacies from mountains and seas and other rare delicacies in front of me. Yun Jingyan was stunned for a moment, not knowing what to do for a moment. Eat. How come you don't want to eat? Oh. After saying that, she looked at Zhao Hengyan with fear. Suddenly I discovered his majestic golden red eyes. Young Master Zhao has two personalities. Seeing this, she murmured in her heart. It feels like Zhao Hengyan now not only looks particularly handsome and majestic, but also carries a certain mysterious majesty. He looked completely different from his silly look just now. Master Zhao, it's not as simple as just having a meal with me, right? Yun Jingyan asked boldly. Clever. The corners of Zhao Hengyan's mouth raised, revealing a proud smile. Have you seen it, licking dog? I have better eyesight than you. My women are smarter than the ones you lick, too. He secretly mocked his predecessor in his heart. Sure enough, he became anxious after hearing Zhao Hengyan's ridicule. He started to become anxious. However, due to the blockade of Nanming Lihuo, he could not do anything. Ding. I feel that the protagonist Zhao Hengyan's Taoist heart is broken. Congratulations to the host for gaining 1000 luck points and 5000 villain points. Zhao Hengyan. Black question mark. Zhao Hengyan was stunned when he heard the system prompt tone. He immediately stopped holding the knife and fork in his hands and looked ahead with a dull expression. Wait, what the hell? The protagonist Zhao Hengyan, then who am I? Who the hell is the villain? System, what's going on? Can you tell me who the villain is? The system replied coldly. Host, this is the consequence you want. Because you blocked the protagonist Yi Chen's road. So heaven began to intervene. At present, it can be said that except for you and your family, everyone else is classified as the protagonist camp. But the characters and settings in the original work have not changed. The consciousness and soul of the predecessor Zhao Hengyan have not completely dissipated, so now they are causing trouble. Okay, let's play like this, right? Except for me, everyone is decent, right? No, I am the protagonist. So everyone is evil, right? If it weren't for his strong willpower, Zhao Hengyan would have spit out the contents of his mouth on the spot. This version is too enhanced. Also, what does it mean to be in the decent camp except for yourself? Co-writing. If I travel through time, I will become a real villain, right? Mr. Zhao, what's wrong with you? Yun Jingyan watched Zhao Hengyan look at him fiercely for a long time, and suddenly felt a little frightened. Fine, from now on, just call me Hengyan, don't call me young Master Zhao. Zhao Hengyan drank some water and calmed down. This news is outrageous. Okay, Mr. Zhao, Yun Jingyan responded cowardly. This young Master Zhao is too scary. His mood is unstable, you must not mess with him. Zhao Hengyan recalled these details while eating. If the character setting and personality have not changed much, then for now, the people who can be trusted are still the same. It's just that the rest of the people are prone to have feelings for or develop feelings for the protagonist when they meet him. Suddenly, with a cold look in his eyes, he discovered a huge hidden danger. That is, the rest of the people who are good friends with the protagonist but have not yet come into contact with him will most likely encounter the protagonist in advance of the plot. If I don't shave you off, then I'll just play with you. Zhao Hengyan cursed unhappily. The most outrageous thing is that the half-dead Kanhun in his predecessor dared to come out and cause trouble. Immediately, Zhao Hengyan used the chi-watching technique to look at Yun Jingyan. I don't know if other people's luck has been enhanced. When he saw the purple color with a hint of gold, Zhao Hengyan's pupils shrank sharply. It's really stepped up. At this moment, Zhao Hengyan felt murderous in his heart. For the rest of the protagonist group, use them if you can, and kill them if you can't. I don't know how to play without cutting off a few hands. What's even more frightening is that the system previously prompted that Tiandao had added a background to Yi Chen. Young Master Zhao Hengyan, can you stop looking at me? After saying that, Yun Jingyan lowered her head, her face so red that she almost bled. Seeing this, Zhao Hengyan laughed helplessly and said, I remembered something, I'm sorry. Then why did you drag me out tonight? Do you believe in fate? Zhao Hengyan asked lightly. It seems like he asked this question last time. I believe. That's fine. It's fate. I think you are happy to want you to be my maid. As for the treatment, you can go to the Imperial Martial Arts Academy to study from tomorrow. 100 spiritual stones plus 5 pills below level 4 every day. After saying that, Zhao Hengyan looked directly at Yun Jingyan to see how she would change. Clang. Hearing this, Yun Jingyan was so frightened that the knife and fork in his hand dropped to the ground. This gives too much. It's not even worth the money if you sell yourself. 100 spirit stones a day, if you can sell 50, that's a high price. Mr. Zhao, Yun Jingyan was so frightened that he could not speak. This is too much. You don't need so much to buy me directly. After saying that, she seemed to realize what she had said wrong. Too much. Okay, I will directly give you 1,000 spiritual stones and 50 pills. From now on, you will be a member of my Zhao family. After saying that, he took out a ring directly. The more you get, the more I'll reward you. This scene scared Yun Jingyan to tears. Why did he sign a deed of prostitution just when he went out to have a meal? And she didn't dare to refuse. How about it? Zhao Hengyan asked tentatively. Well, Yun Jingyan replied tremblingly. After saying that, he stretched out his hand and handed the ring back. You have given me enough before, you don't need to give me any more. It's okay, I don't lack these spiritual stones. You just have to promise your loyalty. After saying that, a contract emitting spiritual energy appeared in Zhao Hengyan's hand. Sign it. When Yun Jingyan bit her finger and signed it with blood, the contract turned into a spiritual light and hit her forehead. Yun Jingyan looked at Zhao Hengyan with a confused expression. Did he sign the deed of sale so quickly and sell himself? But there seemed to be nothing she could do. Thinking of his tragic fate, he has been an orphan since he can remember, and his fighting spirit is also a useless fighting spirit. Having enough food and clothing is still a problem after growing up, let alone practicing. The days ahead with Mr. Zhao may be even better. Thinking of Zhao Hengyan's kindness to her, her eyes instantly became misty. Ding! I feel that Yun Jingyan, the son of Hidden Destiny, has a good impression of you, and the favorability level reaches 50%. Because the host has signed a life and death contract with it, the favorability level is raised to 70%. Congratulations to the host for receiving the Holy Spirit fruit. After hearing the sound of the system, Zhao Hengyan was immediately overjoyed. Sure enough, everything was easier without the interference of the predecessor. Originally, I wanted to get her blood, but I didn't expect that it would directly develop into one of my own. Thinking of this, Zhao Hengyan held her injured hand. Squeeze out a few drops of blood and then give her a pill. Soon, the wound recovered as before. Yun Jingyan never expected that Zhao Hengyan could give her a pill for just a small wound. You know, you may not be able to compare with the value of a pill. Ding! Due to the host's behavior, Yun Jingyan's favorability towards you has increased to 75%. Zhao Hengyan was shocked when he heard this. How the hell is this okay? Suddenly, his phone vibrated. When I took it out and took a look, I was overjoyed. Yi Yuyan had succeeded. After dinner, the two got up and left. Then I'll go back first. Yun Jingyan asked as loudly as a mosquito. Go back. You've signed the bond of betrayal and still want to run away. No, I didn't. I just want to pack my things. When Yun Jingyan heard Zhao Hengyan's angry words, his face turned pale with fear. You don't have anything valuable, do you? Like the things your parents left you? Zhao Hengyan asked tentatively, although he knew Yun Jingyan's life experience as an orphan. But what would her mother leave for her? After all, the original work didn't explain it so clearly. No, I am an orphan. I have never known where my parents are since I can remember. Speaking of this, Yun Jingyan suddenly looked sad. That's fine. I'll replace them all with new ones. Just follow me back to the Zhao mansion. After saying that, Zhao Hengyan immediately got into the car. Yun Jingyan saw this and could only follow him. The imperial capital, Zhao mansion. When the car drove into the gate of Zhao mansion, Zhao Hengyan glanced over to see Yun Jingyan's reaction. Unexpectedly, Yun Jingyan sat upright in his position without showing any panic. When the two were about to walk into the Zhao family's door, Zhao Hengyan suddenly felt that the surrounding air had become very cold. We have a bad feeling, he muttered secretly in his heart. When he pushed the door open and entered, he saw a girl in white sitting in the hall, Su Mengli. Su Mengli's face was gloomy and she looked at Zhao Hengyan with stern eyes. Yun Jingyan on the side was also so frightened that his whole body was shaking and sweating profusely. Sister Mengli, are you still up so late? Zhao Hengyan said with a smile. Xiao Yan can go out and have fun so late, why do I have to go to bed so early? Su Mengli replied with a cold voice. What kind of happiness is there? I just went out to recruit a servant. Hearing this, Su Mengli suddenly turned into a white shadow and came towards him. The next second she stood next to Zhao Hengyan's ear and asked coldly. What servant is worthy of your dignity, Mr. Zhao, going to find him personally at night? Su Mengli's tone was so cold that she could repel people thousands of miles away. Zhao Hengyan was sweating profusely when he heard this. This sense of oppression made Zhao Hengyan feel that he had never had it before. After Su Mengli finished speaking, she glanced at Yun Jingyan. She's such a beautiful girl, no wonder she can seduce all our little souls. But when Su Mengli found out about his realm, his face suddenly turned green with anger. The next second, Zhao Hengyan felt a pain in his ears. You are really hungry and can eat anything. I just wasn't licking a dog, and now you're doing this to me again. Can you save me some trouble? Su Mengli immediately twisted Zhao Hengyan's ears and roared. Zhao Hengyan didn't dare to say a word when he was scolded, although he still wanted to quibble. This was the first time I had seen such an angry Su Mengli, and perhaps the only time she was angry with him. When Zhao Hengyan turned to look at Su Mengli, he saw that her eyes were already red and the corners of her eyes were slightly moist. Come here, Miss Shanyan, go down and rest. Zhao Hengyan immediately shouted coldly. After seeing Yun Jingyan walk away, Zhao Hengyan stretched out his hands to wipe the tears from the corners of Su Mengli's eyes. Sister Mengli, stop crying. Don't be angry first. After hearing the sophistry. Can you explain it? Zhao Hengyan said softly. Seeing this, Su Mengli said nothing more. Then he called Yi Yuyan to come out and give him Yun Yan's blood, and also called Zhao Zan and Su Qingyu to come to his secret room. Let's go, Sister Mengli. Zhao Hengyan took her hand and walked towards the room. Soon, the four of them gathered in the secret room. Did you make Mengli cry? Zhao Zan immediately questioned him as soon as he met him. You bring a girl home in the middle of the night. Don't you know that you will be engaged in 2 days? Su Qingyu also rolled her eyes at Zhao Hengyan. I asked you for your opinion before. Since you chose Mengli yourself, then cherish her. The moment Su Mengli saw Zhao Zan and 2 people defending her like this, she could no longer hold back her emotions. Tears burst out of my eyes instantly, and I burst into tears. Zhao Hengyan, stop scolding, stop scolding. If you scold the child any more, he will become a fool. Zhao Hengyan immediately took out 2 bottles containing blood. He knew that if he didn't take it out, he would probably be skinned alive. What's this? Zhao Zan asked with a confused look on his face. This bottle with a touch of aura is the blood of Yun Yan, the young master of the Yun family. This bottle, which looks just like ordinary people, is the blood of the girl I brought back. Seeing this, Su Qingyu said calmly, then what? Keep talking, I still want to hear your excuses. Zhao Hengyan, what's going on? I feel like there's something wrong with my family. Are you trying to communicate using spiritual power? Zhao Hengyan pointed to the 2 blood bottles in front and said. Zhao Zan seemed to know something when he heard it, and immediately used his spiritual power to try to communicate by blood. Blood communication is a method for spiritual beings to recognize their relatives after the spiritual energy is revived. Only blood of the same bloodline can blend or react with acceptance with the help of spiritual power. Generally, blood with low concentration or low grade will respond to high grade. Soon, Yun Jingyan's blood felt the presence of Yun Yan's blood, and immediately vibrated and flowed towards it. But Yun Yan's blood felt strange, but he didn't feel any restlessness at all. This scene shocked the other 3 people speechless. Yun'er, what's going on? Zhao Zan immediately asked. You'd better be mentally prepared before I speak. Tell me, we are all great emperors and have never seen such big storms. This girl is Yun Hong's illegitimate daughter. Boom. After these words were spoken, it was like a nuclear bomb was dropped in the hearts of the 3 of them, causing a huge storm in an instant. The 3 of them could not calm down for a long time. This kid is very playful. No wonder Yun Yan is like that too. Zhao Zan couldn't help but complain. The 2 most famous extremes in the imperial capital are Zhao Hengyan, the most affectionate person, and Yun Yan, the most romantic person. Both of these 2 people are household names. You may not have seen it, but you cannot have heard it. Yun Yan also has many nicknames such as Master of Time Management, #1 groom in the imperial capital. In comparison, Zhao Hengyan's reputation is much better. But how do you know? Su Qingyu asked Zhao Hengyan with a cold look. You know, her nickname is the Underground Queen of China, and she has a lot of intelligence and assassination forces at her disposal. What big news can escape Su Qingyu's ears? But she didn't even know about this kind of thing. How could her son Zhao Hengyan know so clearly? Zhao Hengyan's heart involuntarily skipped a beat after hearing this. I'm done with this. It's impossible to say that I came here wearing a book, right? Then he turned his eyes and moved his ears as if he thought of something. Mom, have you ever heard of the word fate? Su Qingyu frowned upon hearing this and said secretly in her heart. What nonsense is this kid talking about? Why did your whole person change after you didn't lick Han Ruishuang? Could this be the rumored injury caused by love? It's so hurt that people are dumbfounded. Thinking of this, Su Qingyu couldn't help but feel excited, and looked at Zhao Hengyan with a little worry. Zhao Hengyan realized that everyone was focusing on him, so he started to cheat. Back then, on that sunny afternoon. Let's get down to business. Zhao Hengyan, winking face. Then he explained how he got to know Yun Jingyan, and added hundreds of millions of elements into it. As a kind-hearted person, I don't want to see her suffer. So, I wanted to help find her parents. But in the end, I only knew that she grew up alone, and her mother died when she was just born. Plus, my fighting spirit has a strange feeling for some reason. Quote. 10,000 words are omitted here. That's why I discovered the secret. Zhao Hengyan spoke passionately. This time, several of them were stunned for a moment. Then what do you think? Zhao Zan felt that Zhao Hengyan was not as simple as bringing a girl. But come prepared. I want to eat the Yun family. Zhao Hengyan said lightly. These few words hit their hearts like cannonballs, and they all looked at each other in confusion, not knowing what to say. Why, the Yun family doesn't have much contact with us, and they don't have any grudges. Zhao Zan asked. Think about it, who is the head of the Yun family? Master method. Our Zhao family has military power, but in this day and age, it is at best a means of self-protection. But the Yun family is different. As long as the documents are stamped, everything will become a matter of course. As for the money, just grab it. Control the Yun family, plus our Zhao family has military power. Basically, Hua Guo can go anywhere and do whatever he wants. Zhao Hengyan analyzed the current situation in detail. Now that the Yang family is declining and the Zhao dynasty is in chaos, it is bound to be a blessing for the future. After saying that, everyone's eyes suddenly lit up and they looked at Zhao Hengyan again. In their opinion, Zhao Hengyan has really changed. The young family leader truly has the responsibility and courage, instead of the submissive attitude of the past. Then how to control the Yun family? Su Mengli asked tentatively, although she had some bad thoughts in her mind. Kill. Union Yunwei will find an opportunity to take action. As for the motive, I will figure it out at that time. Anyway, just don't splash water on the Zhao family. As for Yun Moen, it depends on the situation. Yun Jingyan is the name of the girl I brought back. She has the blood of the Yun family but is a useless fighting spirit. That means one thing, the fighting spirit can still be awakened. If she can successfully awaken, then erase all direct descendants of the Yun family and make her life experience public. I guess Yun Hong doesn't want to lose his position as head of the family because of the issue of heir. Zhao Hengyan said with interest, but his smile was a little abnormal. Yun Jingyan has signed a life and death contract with me, so you can absolutely rest assured about your loyalty. If you can't awaken, then you can only marry Yun Moen first and then. As he spoke, he looked at Su Mengli aside, fearing that she would suffer another emotional breakdown. But don't worry, Sister Mengli, you can make it big. After saying that, Zhao Hengyan immediately squatted down and held his head in his hands. The movements were so skillful that it made people feel a little distressed. Su Mengli bit her red lips and said nothing, but looked at Zhao Hengyan quietly. I agree, but let me state it in advance. Do it yourself. Your mother and I can bear some of the consequences for you, but there are some that you can only be directly responsible for. Zhao Zan said lightly and glanced at Su Mengli. Okay. After receiving his father's affirmative support, Zhao Hengyan jumped up from the ground. Yi Chen, do you really think that adding a little background to you can make a difference? I'll just stamp the next document for you and everything is mine. Zhao Hengyan had already made his own little calculation in his mind. Soon, Zhao Zan and Su Qingyu left the secret room first. Zan, do you feel that something is wrong with Yun'er? Su Qingyu asked quietly. What's wrong? He wasn't like this before. He is now decisive and thoughtful, with many bold ideas. Like this martial arts competition, he was able to predict the situation in advance and notify me in advance. And he does things in a flamboyant way, not as elegant as before. Would it be possible to hurt someone because of love? Hearing these words, Zhao Zan burst into laughter. Yue, you are worrying too much. This shows that he has grown up and is qualified to be the heir of the Zhao family. It is not an exaggeration to say that our Zhao family is the capital of aristocratic families. In addition, under your control, the Zhao family soldiers now have money. I am the biggest on the surface, but you are the biggest secretly. Now outsiders call us the little emperors of China and the second in command of China. Under such a background, how dignified was it for Yun'er to be so submissive before? After Zhao Zan finished speaking, he paused and looked around coldly. The weather is getting cold, it's time to put on a robe. Otherwise, outsiders will think that we are poor and cannot afford to wear clothes. After hearing this, Su Qingyu felt that it made sense. Perhaps the current Zhao Hengyan is more suitable for the words, young master of the Zhao family. After all, I used to hate the fact that iron cannot become steel. How could two dragons give birth to a worm? In the secret room, although Su Mengli was still sitting upright, her heart was already in a mess. Zhao Hengyan seemed to have noticed something was wrong, and then walked up to her and said softly. Sister Mengli, what's wrong? Su Mengli raised her eyes and looked at this familiar yet unfamiliar young man. I didn't know what to say for a moment. After a long while, she clasped her hands tightly, lightly opened her red lips, and asked softly. Xiao Yan, can you tell me the truth? What do you think of me? Are you treating me like them, just using me? Su Mengli said with a trembling voice. After finishing speaking, she directly covered her head and burst into tears. Zhao Hengyan was greatly moved after hearing this. At this moment, he seemed to understand that these were not just characters in the book, but also real people. The book only wrote that Su Mengli was very good to him, but it did not write about her true feelings. Maybe these things were buried deep in her heart, and they were not revealed until she changed the plot. Thinking of this, Zhao Hengyan gently stretched out his hands and hugged her. Sister Mengli, don't worry. You have the most unique place in my heart, and no one can replace you. If you don't believe me, I can make an oath. Zhao Hengyan lay in her ear and whispered softly. After hearing this, Su Mengli hugged Zhao Hengyan, buried her head on his chest and sobbed. The two of them maintained this charming posture for a long time. Finally, Su Mengli stopped sobbing and said calmly, "I don't want any oath from you, because it was forced on you and not sincere." Zhao Hengyan was deeply moved by these words, so he hugged her tighter. "Mengli, don't worry, no one can take your place in my heart." After saying that, he gently pecked his little face. This made Su Mengli confused for a moment, and her fair face turned red instantly. She looked at Zhao Hengyan dreamingly, her red lips slightly parted, but she didn't know what to say. Finally, he closed his eyes and mustered up the courage to peck Zhao Hengyan. I believe you, Xiaoyan. However, no one else is allowed except the girl brought back tonight. Especially that Han Ruishuang, she doesn't deserve it. Otherwise, I would be really sad and sad." After saying that, Su Mengli put her head on Zhao Hengyan's chest and rubbed it. "Good," Zhao Hengyan said secretly in his heart, "it seems that many things cannot be imagined according to the original work." Who would have expected that Su Mengli was in love with herself? That night, Zhao Hengyan returned to the room and fell asleep, exhausted both physically and mentally. Suddenly, his consciousness came to his own spiritual pool. "I saw another person who looked exactly like him." Zhao Hengyan took a closer look and estimated that this was the predecessor. Looking at his appearance, his predecessor was as frightened as if he had been struck by lightning. Who are you and why do you look exactly like me?" "I am who I am, my name is Zhao Hengyan." Zhao Hengyan looked at him and said calmly, "Impossible, absolutely impossible. It's you, you despicable thing who took over my body, get out of here." The predecessor roared. Zhao Hengyan snorted coldly upon hearing this. "What are you barking at, you licking dog? If it weren't for me, you probably wouldn't know how you died." The predecessor looked at him coldly, his eyes full of anger. "If it weren't for you, why would I be here? And you are a despicable, shameless, dirty little person. What are you going to do to Sister Mengli? How dare you bully my Ruishuang?" Zhao Hengyan walked up to him and punched him to the ground, then picked up his collar and said coldly, "I'm despicable, shameless, and nasty. Congratulations on getting the answer right. Do you know Sister Mengli's feelings for you? Did you know that Han Ruishuang, whom you miss so much, is just a white-eyed wolf, using the things you gave her to raise a dog named Yi Chen outside? Without me, your body would still be a useless fighting spirit. Without me, you, Wu Bai, would have been trampled under Yi Chen's feet. In the end, the Zhao family would have lost face and gone downhill." Each word, every word, was full of heavy power and penetrated into the heart of the predecessor. Especially after he learned about Han Ruishuang and Yi Chen, his face turned pale with fright and his lips trembled unconsciously. A young man who is the top family head in China and even the top in the world is living such a useless life. You might as well die. Watch your hand, what woman doesn't have it, what can you get? I'm going to lick the woman who cuckolded you." At this moment, the predecessor's defense was completely broken and he yelled crazily. "Ah, impossible, Ruishuang is not like this. You lied to me, you must have lied to me." When the predecessor collapsed, the system's beeps kept ringing. Feeling the inner collapse of the protagonist Zhao Hengyan, the host received 500 luck points and 2000 villain points. +1, comma, is there anything you want to do? Zhao Hengyan looked at his predecessor and wanted to know if there was any unfulfilled long-cherished wish. After speaking, he immediately added, "Except for letting Han Ruishuang be your woman." The predecessor seemed not to hear it and was still holding his head and crying. "What the hell, you're a licking dog that you can't help." Zhao Hengyan shook his head helplessly when he saw this. "Help me give the Zhao family a queen, and protect the Zhao family." After a long time, the predecessor raised his head and said with dull eyes. Zhao Hengyan looked at him in astonishment, not expecting him to say such a thing. "Good, I will take care of your wife and children." After saying that, he stood up and his body turned into a ball of light and gradually disappeared. Ding! The host successfully eliminated the protagonist Zhao Hengyan, and his luck value was upgraded to green. The villain value is directly increased to 15,000. Hearing this, Zhao Hengyan was immediately overjoyed. Didn't expect to get rid of the remnant soul of the predecessor so easily. Moreover, his luck has been upgraded to the green level, and his villain value has directly reached 15,000. Open the system panel. Name, Zhao Hengyan. Villain value, 15,000. Luck, green grade. Realm, Warmaster 1 star. Fighting spirit. Holy beast white tiger. Holy beast Suzaku. Level, SSS. Mind, none. Combat skill, meteoric fist quasi-emperor level. Body skills, none. Kung fu, mountain and sea technique emperor level. Holy demon technique, great compassion technique, 7 killing techniques of gods and demons emperor level. Items, white tiger warblade emperor grade Dongwang bell holy spirit fruit. Hey, what is this holy spirit fruit? Looking at the holy spirit fruit inside the item, Zhao Hengyan was immediately confused. So I checked the profile. Holy spirit fruit. A fruit with holy power, but the power is gentle and will not cause harm to people. After taking it, there are unexpected gains when the fighting spirit awakens. Seeing this, he already had some thoughts in his mind. This thing is probably for Yun Jingyan, after all, it was obtained because of her. System, learn the 3rd level of Great Compassion. Looking at the villain value of 15,000, Zhao Hengyan didn't feel distressed at all and directly learned the Great Compassion. Congratulations to the host for successfully learning the 3rd level of Great Compassion. The sky is broken and the earth is missing the Great Sky Repairing Technique. It can heal all internal and external injuries, and can cure all diseases and poisons, and can survive 100 calamities. He can also transform himself into heaven, make up for the deficiencies by making up for the excess, make up for his innate defects and acquired deficiencies, so as to become a perfect heavenly being. Quote. Seeing this, Zhao Hengyan uttered 2 words, against the sky. Not only can it cure all hidden injuries and diseases, but it can also prevent poisons and poisons. Although it is not an attack skill, it is full of support skills. Since killing a remnant soul can bring you so much luck, what if you kill a normal protagonist? Thinking of this, Zhao Hengyan licked his lips with a strange smile on his face. After lying in bed for 2 days, the protagonist Yi Chen finally opened his eyes and looked around. When he saw Fang Lingling lying beside the bed, he was quite moved. But then he looked confused. Where is my Ruishuang? Zhao Hengyan, I'm not done with you. Yi Chen opened his mouth with difficulty, gritted his teeth and cursed in a low voice. Yi Chen, are you awake? Fang Lingling woke up immediately after feeling the movement. Lingling, are you the only one taking care of me? Yi Chen asked hopefully. Yes. Fang Lingling originally wanted to tell her what happened, but then she strangled the thought to death. While Yi Chen was still chatting with Fang Lingling, a gorgeous figure appeared at the door of the ward. A tall, elegant woman wearing a black dress appeared in front of them. Who are you? Fang Lingling asked immediately when she saw this. After hearing Fang Lingling's question, the woman shook her head and sneered. Introducing myself, my name is Yang Rui, the eldest princess of China. No wonder your Fang family was ruined by Zhao Hengyan. You don't know any of these top people. Listening to Yang Rui's words, Fang Lingling's face suddenly turned red with anger. But she didn't dare to say anything, after all, she was a princess. Moreover, it was exactly as she said, how could the Fang family be like this if she hadn't been blind? See princess, Yi Chen said weakly on the hospital bed. Yi Chen, although you lost this competition, you have successfully gained the appreciation of your father, so our royal family is ready to train you. Hearing this, Yi Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. With the support of the royal family, everything will be easy to solve. He believes that the biggest gap between him and Zhao Hengyan is his lack of resources. Although the Han family and the Fang family are aristocratic families, they cannot be compared with behemoths like the Zhao family. But the Yang family is different, he is the royal family of the empire. Even if the royal family is in decline, it is not something that these aristocratic families can compare with. Thank you, Princess, and Your Majesty for your appreciation. If you agree, I'll come to the palace after you recover. After Yang Rui finished speaking, she threw down a token and turned around to leave. Looking at the dull black token, Yi Chen's eyes were sparkling and full of spirituality. After seeing Yang Rui leaving, Fang Lingling stamped her feet angrily. Yi Chen, look at her. But Yi Chen's heart was entirely focused on the token at this time, and he didn't notice Fang Lingling's emotions at all. Lingling, don't worry, everything will be easier when I get stronger. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 more men in black walked into the ward. Excuse me, is this Yi Chen, Mr. Yi? Yi Chen looked at them with confusion and asked, "Yes, who are you?" The two of them didn't reply, and went straight to Yi Chen to hold his hand. Then he took out a needle and pricked his finger to draw out some blood, which was then collected in a vessel. "What do you want to do?" "No, no, please." This move frightened Yi Chen so much that he trembled all over and started shouting instantly. Fang Lingling on the side was so frightened that her face turned pale, and she huddled in the corner and did not dare to speak. Soon, the man in black took out a bottle of blood and communicated with Yi Chen's blood. Soon, the two reacted without any restlessness. Upon seeing this, the two men in black immediately knelt down and shouted, "Welcome, young master." This scene directly shocked Yi Chen and both of them. One of the men in black stood up and said, "Young master, you are the young master of our Yi family." "Yi family, imperial capital Yi family," Fang Lingling exclaimed when she heard this, her eyes filled with shock. "You must know that the Yi family in the imperial capital is also famous, enough to have a chance to compete with the Zhao family." "Ha ha ha, Zhao Hengyan didn't expect it. I am the eldest son of the Yi family." Yi Chen felt that life was like this, like a roller coaster of surprises. Forehead. The two men in black looked at each other and said, "It's not the Yi family in the imperial capital." The scene was momentarily awkward. Seeing this, the man in black added, "It's the Yi family in Guangcheng." Guangcheng is located in the south of China. It is also a prosperous big city with rich historical heritage. Although it is not as good as the Imperial City and the Magic City, it is also famous in China. "Young master, our Yi family in Guangcheng and the Yi family in the imperial capital can be considered relatives." The Yi family in Guangcheng was originally from the same lineage as the Yi family in the imperial capital. Later, before the spiritual energy was revived, the family was separated in Guangcheng. It was carried forward in the hands of the Yi Xiaolong family master, and gradually became the master of Guangcheng, a first-class force in southern China. Hearing this, Yi Chen felt a lot calmer. Although it is like the Yi family in the imperial capital, it is still a relative family after all. What's more, they are also a big family in the south, so they have a much better start than this little orphan like me. Yi Xiaolong. Is it Yi Xiaolong, who became famous in the physical body in the early stage of spiritual energy recovery, and used nunchucks to single-handedly defeat the Eagle Kingdom? Fang Lingling seemed to think of something when she heard this. Yes. The two men in black nodded affirmatively. Then, they stood up and introduced. "My name is Kun Kun, and he will be at the disposal of the young master after he becomes Wolf Ball." Kunkin, Wolf Ball, such a familiar name. But Yi Chen didn't think too much about it. No matter what, he would still hang out with him in the future. Kunkin took out 2 letters and handed them to Yi Chen. "One is given to you by the master, and the other is for you to deliver in person to the Yi family in the imperial capital." After saying that, the two glanced at Fang Lingling, nodded and took out her mobile phone. "What are you?" Seeing the strange behavior of the two, Fang Lingling suddenly felt uneasy. "That's it. When the master asked us to come over, let's see if the young master has a good match. If there are any, I need to send the photos to the master for review and approval. If not, the master has already prepared the marriage certificate. Young master can go back and get engaged at any time." Kunkin and Wolf Ball explained patiently. After hearing this, Fang Lingling's face turned red instantly, but she was very happy in her heart. It seemed that the two of them regarded themselves as Yi Chen's partners. But Yi Chen on the side was still thinking about everything that happened at this moment, and didn't notice it at all. "Quick, too fast. Just now, I was just a clown, but I didn't expect that I was the young master of the Yi family in Guangcheng and was recognized by the royal family." "Ha ha ha. Why are you laughing, young master?" The two of them were frightened when they saw Yi Chen's crazy appearance. "I don't laugh at others, I laugh at Zhao Hengyan's incompetence and the short-sightedness of the Zhao family. I thought I was an ordinary civilian who dared to bully me at will. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. I, Yi Chen, will one day turn around." In fact, it's no wonder that Yi Chen's surprise was too sudden. Any other person might be crazier than him. Just when Yi Chen was still immersed in joy, another man in black robe walked into the door. "Subordinates, please see the Dragon King." The air condensed instantly, and the scene fell into silence. Yi Chen looked at the man in black robe carefully and asked, "Who are you?" "Long Yuan, the leader of our dragon organization. the previous Dragon King was your master Zhang Wuan. The former Dragon King said that after he disappears in seclusion, we will find his apprentice and obey his orders. Thanks to this competition, we know that the Dragon King is here. After hearing Long Yuan's statement, Yi Chen could no longer suppress his heart. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that Zhao Hengyan, I'm still the Dragon King. Do you know what the Dragon Organization is? You dandy will never understand, just wash your neck and wait for death. Yi Chen felt like he was reaching the pinnacle of his life. It was as if all this was like a dream, and no one could compare with him at this moment. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.